voice of the Green Bay Packers, Wayne Larrabee. And Armen Sarian's got eyes and sights that you can't even see, not because you're not necessarily joining here at Ray Nitschke Field. There's plenty of people that are hanging out with us here already into the stands for day number 6 of Packers practice. But, Armen, they're not equipped like you are with those binoculars from the value section at Walmart. You are going to get the best look here, day 2 of us up on the perch this week.
Well, best $10 I ever spent, Billy. And not only that, I have eschewed the sunglasses today, because I was having too much trouble switching from sunglasses to binoculars. And while I may be a bit more uncomfortable without the sunglasses, it's more important to be able to have my eyes on what's going on so we can document it to the people, Billy. Like, what if something happens? What if someone drops a Gatorade on the other side of the field? I have to know what's going on.
You wouldn't have had that information. Yeah, right. I like that. And also, I appreciate that you're taking it upon yourself to be able to bring all those important things, like what shoes other individuals are wearing on the media side across the field from us.
Very important stuff. Yeah. To know if, does Doug have his hat on?
You were quite frustrated yesterday, and I did enjoy as Wayne, and I was smack dab in the middle of Armen and Wayne Larrabee, and Dave Gasper produces the program as always. And Dave, listening to these guys complain about the jersey numbers, as well as individuals with the jersey rolled up, because swag don't come cheap. All right. No. You got to look good to feel good to then play good. And when you play good, then generally they pay good. Right. So, it all comes in an order of operations.
Yeah, that's true.
Because we're not happy about the numbers being hidden.
If you're going to be paid, they got to know who you are. And to know who they are, you got to be able to tell what number they're wearing.
I think Dave agrees.
But, Dave, that's when all of a sudden you go and make that play. That's when the guy pulls the jersey down just so you be able to see.
There you go. See, that's when you got to reveal
43. You're like, we had a 43 on the roster?
Well, yeah. See, a couple of things. I'm going to be looking. First guy I'm looking for is number 32 today, because I want to see if Marshawn's good to go after yesterday. Yep. There was a lot of consternation because he got banged up a little bit in practice yesterday. He was standing around.
Nate Hobbs, which again,
that's another thing, right? And Nate Hobbs said, "I'm good, but don't worry about me. I'm gonna wreak havoc all over Ray Nitschke Field." But the thing is, I'll be looking for him first. And Billy, I want to see these guys' numbers because it is training camp, and there's a lot of players that you might not be recognizing and stuff like that. I got to say though, I do kind of understand why they roll it up. See, now this is more, you're a little young for this, but in the late 80s, they had the football jerseys that were really cut off.
Yeah, cut off.
But you've seen that aesthetic, right? And you know what? It's because these guys have a lot of good-looking six-packs and a lot of good-looking physiques, and they might want to show that off. I get that. They might want to, they did.
Listen, if I looked like Lucas Van Ness, you would never see me in a shirt.
Right?
Like if I had a physique like Rashawn Gary, I think it's almost blasphemy to wear a shirt. Now, also, you look smooth and slim fit like my man Elton Jenkins, and he was doing it as well. You roll up and show off a little bit of that belly because you work for it, and that's good padding for you to be able to go into the endurance of an NFL season.
Also, football pants are as short as I've ever seen them. I remember football pants kind of going over the knee. They're bike shorts now, which is fine, but it is what it is.
I was listening to Taylor Lewan, Will Compton, and Greg Olson talking about this as only guys that went to that level can actually do.
Sure.
It's so true. And Greg Olson is now coaching middle school again.
That's amazing, by the way.
Him, Luke Kuechly, and Jonathan Stewart are coaching a middle school team.
First of all, how cool would it be to be a 12-year-old kid in 7th grade, and that's your coach?
Or think about being the high school varsity coach that's telling Luke Kuechly, Greg Olson, and Jonathan Stewart what to do.
Yeah, what your program standards
fellas,
are.
Yes, then you need to run a little bit more power. But when you're in 7th and 8th grade, you want the biggest pads possible.
Yeah,
right. Like back in the day, the shoulder pads were up to your ears.
Right.
The cowboy collar over your helmet. Try to be as massive as possible. And then once they got to the NFL, dudes are cutting the knee pads like as small of circles as possible. Thigh pads are as thin and tiny as you could ever see. All it has is either the team logo or the Nike logo because you want to be bigger, faster, stronger. At that point, you're just like, I just need to look as bulked up as possible. It's hilarious. You get older, bigger games, smaller pads.
Well, no doubt about it. Even shoulder pads, Billy. I was talking a little bit with Wayne off the air because I love this topic and he does too, about how less and less uniforms have the TV numbers. What I mean by that is the shoulder or sleeve numbers than they used to, which is hard for him. Obviously, it affects his job. But for me, it's just, me just being an old man where I'm like, but I think that's because pads are so small now.
Very much so.
Uniforms are small. You go back and look at some highlights of Tony Romo throwing a ball. He had the biggest shoulder pads. I mean, you think, how did my man throw the ball so hard and so accurately in those big old shoulder pads?
I look at Dan Marino all the time
yeah.
is the one for me as well. It's a hilarious deal, but it is a different age in pro football. We're going to hear a little bit more about this Packers team from the man that's crafting the roster, Brian Gutekunst, coming up momentarily. It's 8-4 win last night. We're going to talk about it more with Tim Allen. How big was that game for you, Armen? I felt
huge.
Out of all the games that were available for the Brewers to win, this one felt like you want to win at least 2 or 3 out of this series, but getting the first one and having that pressure on is great. Brian Gutekunst up at the podium now, hanging out with us here.
Acclimated to being a professional football player. I'm sure it's probably a big part of the equation for him.
Yeah, no, I think they're doing a good job. It's early, but they're attacking things the right way. It's been the right kind of time, and I think they've adjusted to our culture, really, really well, and been accepted by the group. I think that's a big part of it. They got to earn that, and again, we're really early, but so far so good.
Brian, I think there were 5 or 6 free agents that signed 4-year deals this year, and 2 of them were by you guys. I think Zach's was a 4-year. Obviously, your 2 guys last year were 4 years. What has made that 4-year contract so palatable for you guys when other teams aren't doing it quite as much?
Yeah, I think I think every player's a little bit different, and every situation is a little bit different. Sometimes, I think we've gone 3, sometimes we've gone 4. But certainly, I think if we're going to make that kind of commitment, we would like, have a little bit more long-term, thought there. And we've done a lot of those 4 years, and it's worked out well for us. So I think that's probably why.
Right, going back to the rookie class and specifically Golden, have you seen maybe him be a little more advanced than what you thought in his first week because he's looked so good, or just kind of he's getting it quicker?
Yeah, I think he's done a really nice job with his opportunities. And again, it's very, very early in the beginning stages, but he's done a very nice job with his opportunities. I do think, being a 3-year guy, 2 years at Houston, 1 year at Texas, he's young. Certainly the exposure at Texas probably was very helpful for him and his ability to succeed at the end of that season. But I do think sometimes the players we're getting now are a little more accustomed to adjusting quickly just because there's so much more movement and they've bounced around a little bit. So the ability to adjust, I think, is, they've had that experience already. So that may help him. But he's really smart, and again, another one of our guys that's adjusted really well.
Brian, with Isaiah Simmons, was that kind of, did you sort of just take a flyer there, or did you really think, this is a guy who could, he's out there with the ones a lot right now? Yeah,
certainly he's very gifted. He was obviously drafted in the first round, and we spent a lot of time on him as he was coming out of college at Clemson. He's got a very versatile skill set. So I think whenever he gets on the field, I think coaches recognize that and see that and certainly want to see what he can do there. So I wouldn't call it a flyer. It was a guy that I think, as we started to talk to him, we understood how many ways he can impact our football team, not only the defensive side of the ball, but also special teams as well. And again, he's still a young player. So we just still think his best football is ahead of him. So we're excited about that.
What do you think of the young group of cornerbacks behind your experience 3 years? Anyone kind of, I'm not asking you to name names, but is someone kind of rising up the way you need to at this point?
Right. Yeah, I think they've all done a nice job with the opportunities. It's been really neat to watch Bo get in there and be as successful as he's been in the first few days that he's been out there. But no, they've done a nice job. I think there's going to be some really, really good competition there at the back end of that group.
Because you mentioned, I think, last week that when you first signed him or whatever it was, getting him from Seattle, that you guys had some conversations about corner. Was there anything about his skill set that sort of indicated that to you, that he potentially could be a fit there?
Yeah, when he was coming out of college, all his testing numbers kind of screamed corner. His short shuttle, his 3-cone, his explosive numbers, his speed. Again, screamed receiver too. But again, right when we brought him in, it was something that we discussed as a personnel group. But then again, he took off as a receiver, and certainly we needed him in some of those occasions. But I think, again, it's very, very early, but after these first 5-6 days, I think the decision by Matt to kind of keep him at, corner and let him grow there and see how that worked was wise, because he's did some really good things for us.
Oliver, he had his surgery well before the draft, right? Yep. What made him still worth spending a pick on? What about that injury or about him made it still worth taking that shot?
Yeah, obviously we know another versatile player, can play inside backer and edge guy. We drafted him as an edge guy because of his ability to come off the corner and rush the passer with speed. We haven't had a ton of those guys like that. But I think the versatility as well, the ability to play, rush the passer with his hand down, stand up, do some of those things as an, inside outside backer, and then also special teams. I just think his skill set that way was really intriguing to us and to Coach Half. And then also just the person, the kind of guy he was for that team, and he was very much a leader. And then the unselfish nature of him to be able to move from inside backer to the edge guy and do whatever the team needed.
Is the history of that surgery pretty good as far as guys not losing, a lot of explosiveness?
Yeah, we felt really comfortable with it. Obviously, you know how much time we spend medically with all those players coming out of the draft, and again, if we didn't feel comfortable with it, we wouldn't have done it.
Hey, Brian, back to Bo just for a second. Usually when a guy's 26, he's getting his position changed, it's kind of a death knell.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have to twist his arm at all? Like when you sat down and Matt sat down with him in the offseason, like what was that conversation like?
No, and I know you guys, some of you guys, know Bo pretty well, but he is the ultimate team, player and competitor. I think he saw I think he's always kind of felt that he had that in him as well. And he seemed really excited about it. And every day he keeps growing, and it's been, again, it's very, very early. There's going to be some ups and downs with it, but it seems very natural to him. So not at all. He was just, very eager to help the team. We know what we have with him as a receiver and as a special teams player. And this is, again, this is something that, this is not something we're just kind of throwing out there and trying for a few weeks. This is something we're kind of committed to.
Between Brinson and Stackhouse, either of those guys make up for the loss of what TJ gave you the last couple of years? Obviously, one's bigger, one's a little different body type. But.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, again, we're 5 days in, and those guys certainly have the potential to do that. No different than when we drafted TJ back in, the first couple of years. He was kind of, he slowly kind of grew into that role, and we would expect these guys to have the potential to do that and maybe more.
Brian, what's the ceiling on a guy like Bretton Cox, who you brought in as an undrafted guy, who kind of had a little bit of an increase each year? Where do you think he can go?
Yeah, Bretton's he's always been a natural pass rusher. He has excellent hands and feel for that position. He's very heavy-handed in the run game as well. So no, I think he's got a really, really good upside, really good ceiling, and he's attacking. He's gotten better, the entire time that he's been with us. And you guys saw that last year as his reps increased, and he was pretty productive in the opportunities that were given to him. So again, that's a pretty competitive group right now. So we'll kind of see how all that shakes out. But no, I think there's a very good upside there.
Ryan, what you see last year from Keyshawn at outside corner to make you not go out and get a proven veteran and kind of trust him with? Now, I'm not going to say the number one cornerback role, but a prominent role there on the outside.
Yeah, again, I think when we brought him in, we knew he could play the nickel and obviously the special team stuff. And then, when he got his opportunities outside, he just kept making plays. He was comfortable out there. He made good decisions, was physical in the run game. And again, because of Jair's injuries, a lot of guys were pressing the duties that not only Key, but then Carrington, and they just kind of answered the bell and played really well for us. So I think as we got into the offseason, we felt very comfortable. We wanted to add to the mix. We brought in Nate, and I think, not only having guys that we feel really good about their level of play, but then just the experience they have there too. And, I think every time we've given Key any different role, whether it's as a kick returner or whether it was on defense, and he's kind of answered the bell and been really productive for us. So I'm excited to kind of see, as he continues to gain more experience outside, what he does for us.
What went into the decision to bring in Israel Abanikanda into your running back room? What sort of upside do you bring to that room?
Yeah, certainly when he came out, he's a big, really fast, strong athlete. And then as we were going through camp, from a numbers perspective, we just kind of thought it was something we wanted to do. And again, he's got a skill set that when he came out of Pitt, his last year there, he was very, very productive, a bit of a home run threat as a runner. So I think he kind of fits what Matt wants to do. So that's kind of why.
Little peace of mind in your kicking room. You're not having to answer questions about training camp field goals, and your punting game. That's a bit of a rare commodity that you have right now.
Yeah, no, I feel really good about our specialist group. All three of those guys, obviously Brandon and Matt are extremely experienced, and Daniel's played a lot of football for us, and we really think he has a chance to be one of the very elite punters in the National Football League. So, I feel very comfortable with those guys. Richard does a fantastic job working those guys and making that unit strong. And I certainly think last year you saw that. They were very, very consistent. And, it's a bit of a different situation we're in this year than we were last year. But those things can change in a hurry too, so you never know.
I'd always like to say you wanted to put the guys in bubble wrap during training camp. So what are you thinking when you've seen Nate Hobbs hit Dante even a couple times like Friday, and then obviously Marshawn yesterday?
Yeah, I mean, there's obviously you're trying to balance a lot of things as you're going through camp, but we're trying to become a certain kind of football team that can win deep into the playoffs. And there's a certain kind of a physicality that you have to have. And Nate Hobbs brings all that, and that's why we brought him here. It's very important that all our guys have that kind of edge to them. You want to keep guys off the ground, and you want to make good decisions while you're going through camp, and keep guys healthy. At the same time, it's hard. I mean, we're asking these guys to fly around, be physical, make plays, and to back off sometimes is not easy. But we want them all to be good teammates and keep each other healthy. But at the same time, I'd rather be pulling the reins, and making sure that we got enough guys in that room that have that kind of edge.
Have you ever come out of a postseason, like after a game from the 49ers, or most recently the Eagles, and wondered if your team just need to be that much more physical?
I think, quite frankly, over the last couple of years, I felt really good about our physicality and our toughness and our ability to play that kind of game. But I think there probably were times in the past where I was kind of think we need to be a little more physical of a football team, but not over the last couple of years.
And is there anything to worry about with Marshawn Lloyd?
Yeah, I mean, they're obviously working through. I think as he kind of came around the corner there, he planted to change directions. I think something grabbed on him a little bit, so they're doing the testing now, and I think they'll probably know more today and see where that goes. But feel for him because I mean, he's worked so hard to get his body into elite shape and overcome some of these injuries, and sometimes you're a little bit snake bit. I was talking to the trainers, yesterday and today, and I always, whenever I see players go through this, because from time to time we'll have some guys go through things like this, where they have a bunch of injuries early. And I always think of Mike Flanagan, you know what I mean? And there was probably a lot of times where people kind of thought, okay, well, that's never going to work. And then, but they hung on, and then he was a great player for a long time for us here. So sometimes, that's hard to explain to a player, like just to keep the faith and keep patience, because I'm sure this has been tough on him, but he's done everything we've asked him to do and more to overcome these things, and I'm sure there'll be a time where he will.
Just to clarify, does that mean that the injury was not related to the contact with Nate Hobbs?
Didn't look like it. It looked like as he came into it, yeah.
Do you have an idea of when your other kicker is going to be able to get over here?
We're hopeful soon, but that's kind of one of those things where it's in a lot of red tape and making sure you can get to the embassy. But when we went into it, we kind of heard it was anywhere between 5 and 14 days, and so we're kind of in the middle of that now. But we're hopeful we'll get in there soon. I think that would help just the workload part of it, so we could kick every day. Right now, we're kind of kicking every other day. It's when you have another kicker, particularly the way Rich and his team works, those guys, it's really nice to have another one just to kind of be able to kick every day.
Brian, Javon Bullard and Evan Williams were two guys who played a lot in that secondary as rookies. Individually, from each of those guys, like, what are you looking for from them in year two?
Yeah, really. I mean, they had outstanding rookie seasons. Just to really kind of continue to grow. I mean, and then really within the defense, and I mean, they bring the kind of physicality and the kind of intensity and really understanding of the game that we want. So really just as they kind of notch more experience, I think they're going to continue to make more and more plays for us. And again, they did a really nice job for us last year.
You got the receivers coming back with Wicks and Reed and Romeo, and then the two rookies. So if you keep 6, I know these kind of hypothetical numbers, what are you looking for in that last spot? Because Keith brings something totally different than Armen does, and something totally different than I'm tired, Brian. You got 3 guys though who it's totally different skill sets. Going for that last spot.
No, and whether we keep 5, 6, 7, who knows how the roster will shake out. But to me, particularly, all those guys, Matt asked a lot of our wide receivers. Obviously, they got to make plays in the passing game. They got to catch the ball, get open, and threaten the defense. But they also got they got to block. They got to get in there and do some of that dirty work. We ask our guys to do a lot of that. And then certainly, usually, if you're going to make the 48-man roster, particularly if you're not one of those kind of top guys, you're going to have to play on teams. You're going to have to play a lot of teams for us. So those are the things we're going to look for. We got a lot of opportunities between the joint practices and the preseason games to kind of figure some of that stuff out. But I like the competition in the room right now. I think, as you guys have seen through the first few days, all those guys have stepped up in one way or another and made plays for us out there. So it's a very capable group, and it's going to be interesting to see how it all shakes out.
A few more, please. What did you make of the intensity as a whole yesterday for the first pad practice?
Good. I think, the intensity was really good. I think it was hot, as you guys know, it was hot out there, and I think sometimes that can drain you. So we'll see how they come back today. Whenever you get into pads, particularly in today's world of football, where it's so different because you have so many more limited opportunities to be in pads. There's always a sloppiness to it to a certain degree, like you're just kind of trying to get, through it. But I thought yesterday was a little bit better than most first days, So, but I think we need that. We need more of that, and it'll be good for us to get out there today and over the next couple of weeks to be in pads as much as we can, because if we're going to be the kind of football team I think we can be, we need that.
Do you look forward and enjoy Saturday night coming up this week? And is it a good grading period as well with the crowd?
Yeah. Family night is so unique, and we have such an advantage because, it's most teams just can't put 70,000 in the stands for a practice, and it doesn't matter what we're doing on that field. The intensity within our players immediately ratchets up, and for me, in a lot of those periods, to watch guys make decisions with that intensity in the crowd and everything that's going on, I think is really important, because at the end of the day, what we're doing right now, most of the time those coaches are right in their ear nonstop. When we get into family night a little bit, and then obviously the preseason games, those guys got to go out there and make those decisions without those guys in their ear. And I think it's extremely important for me as an evaluator, as us as an evaluator, to see that and to see how they respond to that. And not only that, it's not just one time. Like, they may go out there on family night, maybe they struggle through it, and they come back to the next preseason game, and now they're calm and they've been there. So just to make sure we don't, but we have to evaluate all that, because at the end of the day, those moments are more important than anything. What they do when they're out there with just the 11 guys on the field.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, guys.
There we go. Mike Heller getting your way in there.
Way to go, Mike.
Heller.
2 questions and the last one, I believe.
And the
right?
last one,
Yeah.
also announcing and asserting his presence up here in Green Bay. Because Mike missed last night at the Flop House. He said, I'm getting myself in there. I'm getting in there, and I'm getting a couple of questions in. Good ones about the specialist. Mike Heller asked the kicking question, even though we didn't need to ask kicking questions.
Well,
we had a lot of kicking questions last
year, and it reminded me
a lot of kicking questions
about how you were actually imploring us. Can we please stop talking about kicking?
Let's actually talk about the football.
It was getting you really.
Let's talk about the real football
prickly about it. Yeah. It hasn't been a big issue, and actually, Mike's question focused on the fact that it hasn't been a question,
which was a good
thing.
I loved it.
Yeah, a good thing. Yeah,
great work by Mike. Big fans of how he was able to fire that one in there, and we enjoy all of Brian Gutekunst from there up at 1265 across the street, and they'll get out here in a little under an hour for practice here today, and there will be plenty of more conversation around it. Good information, but maybe not so good information on Marshawn Lloyd. We'll talk about that.
Yeah, something grabbed on him. So we'll see how that
maybe
works
would have liked that to be more induced by the Nate Hobbs bump than it be a non-contact injury.
It's a great point, because we were always worried about the soft tissue stuff with him, right?
Yeah, don't necessarily love that.
But let's wait and see. I don't want to panic.
And also want to bring up what Brian Gutekunst mentioned there about the football team being in the toughness factor. How tough they are. Are they tough enough to win a certain amount of those games?
Love that.
Kind of what we've been talking about with Wayne Larrivee, and he put a little line of demarcation on there, not over the last couple of years.
Right. He said he felt good, actually, the last couple of years. Earlier on, he might not have.
Maybe he didn't feel so good about it in 2019, 2020, and 2021.
I think he wants to let you know, we have transformed the team in that regard a little bit. We're just waiting for it to pay off.
More of that conversation as we continue here at Ray Nitschke Field. We'll talk some Brewers baseball with Tim Allen after the top of the hour from the baseball postgame show. And on the other side, Dave Gasper was there last night. The Miz hype train catches a little bit of a bad wheel. However, then gets onto the tracks and rolls.
Yeah.
So that was Christian Yelich said his favorite Jacob Mizorowski start in the big leagues last night. Not sure if it's yours on the Talking Text line, but you can answer it at 877-794-1973. Once again, the best record in baseball and offensive reinforcements. We'll talk about the newest Milwaukee Brewer, not speed skater, entering the Wisconsin Covenant, and a lot more coming up. Live from Ray Nitschke Field, that's Armen Sarian. I'm Billy Schmidt. It's No BS statewide on the game.
You got to kick a little and cause a stir. Sometimes you gotta make some noise to be heard. Anybody ever tries to hold you back?
KB here. I'm sure you've heard us talking about and have tried Pep's Draft House Pizza by now, but are you legit? If you're craving the taste of your favorite childhood pizza, make it Pep's Legit. With a stone-baked, cracker-thin crust, zesty tomato sauce, whole milk mozzarella, toppings that take you back, and a signature spice topping. Legit pizzas are the real deal. Pick up one at your local grocery store for the authentic at-home pizza parlor experience. Be legit and try one today.
If your knees or hips are slowing you down, don't wait for it to get worse. Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin offers same-day surgery with advanced technology and specialized joint care to get you moving again faster. Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin, there is a difference.
The open road is calling, and the ride begins at Potawatomi Casino Hotel, Milwaukee. This July, you could burn rubber on a custom Harley-Davidson in the Fire Up Your Fantasy motorcycle giveaway. Play with your rewards card all July for entries. Thursday drawings for extra cash and reward play. Fire Up Your Fantasy, only at Potawatomi. More info online. Must be 21 and a rewards member to play.
I'm the guy that never gives 5 stars because I never believe that anything is perfect. But I would give them 20 stars if I could.
Ernest Stellar Review belongs to QC Kinetics, the nation's leader in regenerative treatments. They came through when he badly needed relief for his aching knees, and doctors had told him that surgery was the only option.
What they're doing is cutting edge, and it really helps. And I'm a tough sell.
QC Kinetics is led by National Medical Director Dr. Mitchell Scheinkup, a pioneer in this field. With 20 years of clinical work, tons of research, teaching, publishing in non-surgical natural pain treatments. These are the medical pros to trust.
I'm living my life basically pain-free from what I was dealing with. So I'm a happy camper today, no doubt about it.
QC Kinetics. Call today to see if you're a candidate.
Call QC Kinetics, 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. 414-285-3474.
Hey, Wisconsin, it's construction season, and the Wisconsin DOT wants to help you safely navigate work zones in your area. Check 511wi.gov or download the free 511 app to see current road work, closures, detours, and camera views on your route. Wherever your travels take you, know before you go with 511wi.gov. That's 511wi.gov. And remember, know before you go. Always park the phone while driving. Sponsored by the Wisconsin DOT.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with autopay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just 1 cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here.
Based on analysis by Ookla of speed test intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025. Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 a monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
Ah! Monsters hairball, googly eyes. Looks like Clogzilla is back in your sink.
Not again. This always happens when I shave my back hair. Hello, Clogzilla.
Have no fear. There's a drain hero here. Just call the pros at Capital when things get hairy.
Need help defeating the beast beneath your sink? Call Capital for our best drain clearing offer ever. For only $49, we'll unclog your drain.
Old-fashioned service, you can't go wrong. Call CapitalCares.com.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues?
Who are you?
Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Some people just know they can save hundreds on home and auto insurance by checking Allstate first. Like to check your house sitter has the new code first before leaving for vacation.
System lockout.
But that's a code.
Contacting authority.
I'm out of here. Oh, seriously, the car too? Yeah, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a home and auto bundle that could save you hundreds. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Not available in every state. Potential savings vary. Allstate Vehicle and Property Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Presenting a Gain Flings love story. Dear love of my life, we were on the 12B bus this morning when I caught a whiff. A scent so fresh, so life-changing, I had to find its source. Alas, I didn't know if you were the woman in the pink freshly washed cardigan or the retired mailman next to me, but I knew one of you was my soulmate. Ah, the scent of Gain Flings. Try Gain Flings with OxyBoost and Febreze.
No BS. Live from Packers training camp is presented by Potawatomi Sportsbook. Bet above the rest. Live from Nitschke Field, here's Bill Schmid.
What's he gonna do?
Let's get down at Ray Nitschke Field. Packers practice kicking off in a little under an hour from right now. I'm Billy Schmid. That's Armen Sari and Dave Gasper back in the iHeart Megaplex. And on the iHeart Media Talking Text line, the Nicolay.com Talking Text line, you can reach out to all of our different stations that we have in the iHeart Megaplex. But our Talking Text line, I mean, I'm not going to say like our state fair is the best state fair. Wisconsin State Fair is always the best state.
Well, it's the number one.
I think our text line is always the best.
It's really good. I mean, we
all due respect to my man Danny O.
Yeah.
Dan gets this thing fired up. All right. Dan gets this thing fired up. Shanna Quinn, probably a lot nicer text line.
Yeah, I would say.
Our text line all over the place.
Sure. No doubt about it.
I love when Bob in Minneapolis fires in on the Talking Text line. He was responding to what Brian Gutekunst said on the other side. I like the comment about winning deep in the playoffs. First I've heard that in a long time. Is this a change coming from the new president? God, I hope so.
Now, Bob,
not ridiculing Murphy. Just wondering if winning is becoming a top priority instead of playoff appearances.
Now, as you know, Billy, Bob and Mike go back and forth a lot in his show, and this is a common theme with Bob's texts about championship or bust kind of thing. However, tell me if I'm wrong. It's wrong to say that winning wasn't a priority with Murphy, and it's not a priority of Ed Policy. And those guys are – this is not the position they're in really to be like Ed. Tell me if I'm wrong. Ed Policy's not in the locker room now walking in saying a new boss is in town. You guys better start winning. Yeah. Goody's the head of the football operation. Winning is always and will be always a priority. And being a playoff team means you're winning. So I disagree with Bob's premise that unless they're winning Super Bowls, that means the rest of getting to the playoffs was a failure. No, that's the process you need to take to get to the Super Bowl.
There. And I also think part of and the biggest thing that Ed Policy can do and Mark Murphy did for helping win the winning side of football and emphasizing that is look at what they've done in the expansion of the players' side of Lambeau Field.
Correct. You're setting up a foundation.
We talk about all of what we see, the new facade, the great new title town area that we can look at the brand new players' locker room that you watch, the underground parking, the incredible new weight room that they've put in over the last 3 or 4 years. Like that's how you emphasize in the NFL winning is our top priority.
Sure.
Because there's a lot of organizations in the NFL that you see where players will walk in and laugh at the facilities.
Cincinnati. Right? That's one people
start
talk about.
Right there.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But then you go on and on because when you're coming from Alabama, Georgia, Oregon, Ohio State, Wisconsin, Iowa, all these top Texas, these top college institutions, their facilities is one of the number one selling points.
Yeah, they operate.
You have to have the best of the best facilities to try to bring in the best of the best players. Now, all of them come to the NFL and they're like, well, you're going to work out here if you want to. All we really care about is what you do on Sundays and during our, 130, 140 days that go into it. Like, so that part of it has how you emphasize winning is the top priority as a president of football operations in the NFL. It's just the money goes back to football here.
Yes.
And I think that's where Green Bay does have a leg up over a lot of other places where you're not trying to line a pocketbook of a certain guy who sees a massive profit comes in, sees the 450 or 60 million that comes in from the revenue split of the NFL and says, well, let's make sure that I get a certain
or that can be subject to the whims of an individual person. That's the individual owner that has his own maybe petulance at times or whatever it is and wants to do things his way because it's his business. The Packers are in the most unique position in sports, as we know, Billy, because the operation is a business structure and the president of the Packers is only the placeholder there and he's not the owner, and everything else is about the business of football. So if you listen back and to what he was saying, he said, no, I think we've been physical enough to be able to win deep in the playoffs last couple of years. So basically the point is now I think we're equipped from a football standpoint to do that. It's not that there's a change that's going to be taking place. So,
Yeah. And I also like because I do appreciate Bob's comment, right? Like, you want to know that your team
has championship
and your
first,
organization, right? That's all they care about.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's the one part about the Green Bay Packers that I generally counter with. Other than other teams in football, all the money then goes back into the business.
Absolutely.
It doesn't subsidize family businesses, other investments. Like, so in the NFL, and some people have, I think, feel like they have an appropriate gripe with Mark Attanasio. Like,
right.
Is all Brewers money going into making the Brewers better every single time? Or is it helping Newcastle? Generally speaking, different owners have a little bit of a split because they have a lot of different operations and investments to tend to. This one, all the money goes back into football.
Yes, absolutely. And I think maybe the flaw is with what he's saying is there's an idea that, you need to win playoff games to get to a championship. That's the goal of everybody. Yeah. It's hard to do. You need things to go your way. You need to try and hit on the right players. You need the players to execute the right way. It's not for lack of trying or lack of there's no one key to unlock.
No.
To say we make this action and therefore all of a sudden we win a championship.
However, a little bit of pressure and a little bit of feeling like there's some more pressure on you is never a bad thing.
Mm-hmm.
TK and Grafton also said lip service don't win games. Matt Ishbia did say they were going to come in and win multiple championships. He's in the running for the worst owner in the NBA.
No,
so like that, there's a difference, and it's not always the easiest and most linear path. Ours is pretty straightforward. We get an update, and then Tim Allen right after this. Hour 2 and No BS is next on the game.
Get on it.
Get ready, Badgers football fans. This season will be here soon.
And that's picked off again by Wisconsin and hit floated to him at the 46-yard line.
August 28th, the Badgers open at home against the Red Hawks of Miami.
He's gone all the way. Touchdown, Wisconsin.
Listen to the Badgers all season right here. 97.3 The Game.
Miller High Life. Always flavorful, always refreshing, always at the right price. The champagne of beers. Welcome to the High Life. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Family Dentistry, Cosmetic Whitening, Ross Dental Straight Smiles, and Full Sedation Dentistry for anxious patients needing substantial restoration. Our mission? Your comfort, health, and confidence.
Smile like you just don't care.
Because you don't. RossDentalWI.com.
Save big on everything for your next project when you shop at Menards. Heat up your backyard with a new fire pit. Our fire pit bundle includes everything you need: concrete landscape blocks, steel ring insert, pea gravel, and adhesive. All bundled together to make your project quick and easy. Visit us today in store or on Menards.com and save big on our full selection of fire pit projects and accessories today.
Save big money at Menards.
Coming up Tuesday, the Mike Heller Show, noon to 3 from the trailer outside of Packers training camp in Green Bay. We'll have guests and a lot of fun stuff going on there. We'll talk Brewers, Cubs. Vinny Bertino will join us, and any other news of the day. The Mike Heller Show, noon to 3 on the Game.
What's up? It's Russell Nicolay with Nicolay Law. You're listening to 97.3 The Game, the #1 sports talk station in Milwaukee. For award-winning injury lawyers, when you're injured, you call Nicolay Law or visit us at nicolaylaw.com. Get the beard, get the win.
Do Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms keep coming back? Tremfya, guselkumab, may help, with rapid remission achieved at 12 weeks and lasting clinical remission at 1 year. Some even saw visible improvement of their intestinal lining at 12 weeks and 1 year. Tremfya is a prescription medicine used to treat adults with moderately to severely active Crohn's disease and adults with moderately to severely active ulcerative colitis. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Healing is possible with Tremfya. Approximately 3 out of 10 patients were in endoscopic remission at 1 year, based on areas visualized on colonoscopy, which may not represent the deeper bowel layer or entire GI tract. Individual results may vary. Ask your doctor about Tremfya today. Call 1-800-526-7736 to learn more or visit tremfyaradio.com.
Your home for Zabin Butch in the morning.
That's my name.
Heard live from Milwaukee and on the iHeart app by fans everywhere. This is WRNW-FM Milwaukee, 97.3 The Game.
Lowe's knows big savings make a big difference, especially when you're shopping for appliances. Hurry in to get up to 30% off select major appliances. Plus, My Lowe's Rewards members get free delivery, free haul away, free installation and parts on purchases of $2,500 or more. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid through 7/30. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. Price, delivery time, and vehicle availability may vary based on order size and location. Exclusions apply. See Lowes.com/delivery for more details.
Is your business craving efficiency? Is it hungry for productivity? Then there's a tech solution you should implement now if you want to crush your KPIs and you also want BLTs or burrito bowls or like bagels. It's called EasyCater, one platform for ordering food from a huge variety of restaurants for all your workplace needs. From falafel for the finance team to lasagna for the lunch and learn. Plus tools to help you save time and stay on budget. Ready to nail your deliverables? Order now at easycater.com.
Find what you love, love what you find. A Total Wine and More. There's so much waiting for you. Spirits and beer, thousands of wines. Guides in the know and prices so low. It just might blow your mind. You're gonna find what you love and love what you find.
With curbside pickup available, you'll always find what you love only at Total Wine and More.
Drink responsibly, B21.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free timeshare exit information kit. 800-761-0000. That's 800-761-0000.
Paid for by Wesley Financial Group.
iHeartRadio is the easy-to-use app for music and radio. Download the free iHeartRadio app today.
We call it Wagertainment.
All right, place your bets, place your bets.
VSiN, every night at 6. Presented by Potawatomi Sportsbook. Bet above the rest on Fox Sports 920. Make 97.3 The Game your number one preset on our free iHeartRadio app. Powered by Gruber Law.
One call, that's all.
Injured?
Remember, one call, that's all.
This hour of No BS is brought to you by Screamin' Sicilian Premium Craft Frozen Pizza. Find it in your local grocer's freezer and taste what all the screamin' is about.
Drop it. He's very knowledgeable, very intelligent guy, very personable guy.
Here's Doug Russell.
All right, we're all in Green Bay, but let's talk about the Brewers for a second because they just keep winning.
Fly ball right center. It is back and it is gone. Christian Yelich with his 20th home run of the year.
FanDuel Sports Network with the call. Yeah, the Brewers got off to a bad start, but then they came back like gangbusters. 8-4 the final score in game one against the Cubs. The Brewers had to rally in this one. They gave up a 3 spot in the first. Jacob Mizrowski then settled down, gave his team a chance to win. And Christian Yelich, I don't know if you guys realize this or not, but this is his first 20 home run season since 2019.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's truly amazing what this guy's done in multiple parts of the latter part of his career to kind of overcome adversity, overcome and reinvent, because of injury, because of bad, slumps. He's had to kind of reinvent himself in multiple ways, and that power stroke is there, which is a good sign for the Brewers who don't have many power strokes. Really, I mean,
yeah. Pause. There's also the spot where last year he was so good, Doug, that you kind of assumed the numbers got there.
Right.
Yes.
But then when you look at it in hindsight, he only played 70-some games,
Mhm.
72 games a year ago, but his impact was so high.
Without a doubt.
It's amazing to see the flip and the fan base and the reaction to him.
Oh, yes.
Also, I like him being able to shoot a double doink into Chicago sports
that was
fandom one
amazing.
more time.
That was amazing. Love
100%. And now he also saw a lot, though. I mean, Christian Yelich is the elder statesman of this Brewers team. Jacob Mizorowski is not. So I thought these words had some impact after the game when Yelly was talking about Miz.
That was awesome, dude. Come back in, settle down, and go back out there and put up 3 more scoreless innings. That's what it's about. It's how it's going to be sometimes in the big leagues. It's never going to be smooth sailing and be messy sometimes, but you got to reach back and compete when that kind of stuff's happening. And I'd love to see it from him. And I told him that's why it was my favorite start is.
His favorite start. How you like that?
And you know what? Yelly's leadership has kind of been questioned by many, especially our friend Tim Allen, who's going to be coming up in a couple of minutes from right now. Not in a bad, but you don't hear him be very vocal at all. So you're like, how on earth is this guy leading?
Sure.
But the way that this group will gravitate towards him as a guy that has seen everything in baseball, Dave, you're there almost every single day on the home side.
Yeah.
Like being able to see how they react to when he talks. You don't have to talk all the time, but when you do, say something meaningful and be direct about it. And it appears that he has taken that ownership and leadership role to a different level than you would have anticipated he did in his earlier time in Milwaukee.
Yeah, when he talks, people are going to listen. You know, they're going to want to hear what he has to say.
And a great example that leadership doesn't always come in one package.
Yep.
And he shows that
That's
quiet, stately leadership, that Benny the Jet kind of leadership, you know.
I like that
the
Benny the Jet
Thank you.
leadership.
Yeah, well, he
That's
was
nice.
that. Yeah.
The Brewers have a 1-game lead on the Cubs with game 2 set for tonight. Now, speaking of the Cubs, they are mourning, as is everyone in baseball, not just the loss on the field last night, but a huge, monumental loss off the field last night as well.
There's a drive, way back. It might be near the wall. It could be. It is. Holy cow! A 3-run homer for Ryan Sandberg.
Hall of Famer Ryan Sandberg has died at age 65 after a recurrence of prostate cancer. A year ago, almost exactly a year ago, he announced that he was in remission, and it came back in December, and it came back with a vengeance. Spread to other organs. Sandberg, rare combination of offense and defense, won 9 Gold Gloves, hit 282 home runs, which was unheard of for a second baseman in that era. Generally considered one of baseball's all-time best second basemen. He's in the top 5 easily.
Absolutely. And I think the ones that you're talking about besides him are like the Rogers, Hornsbys, and so even especially in modern times, there weren't a lot of players that were able to do what he could do from his position. Absolute
40
all-time
homers in a year.
Yes, the power numbers from that position weren't great in that era, so that was a huge thing. And sort of that matinee idol kind of look aspect about him. He was a great player, well respected, and definitely going to be missed because he was a great proponent of the game. One of the better Hall of Fame speeches, I thought, as well. If you want to go back and look that up about respecting the game and stuff like that. So a legend lost.
I think of guys. Joe Morgan was a fantastic player offensively and defensively. Roberto Alomar, fantastic player offensively and defensively. But Ryan Sandberg, top 5. I don't, it's hard to rank. Especially
you're not going to get any
era.
objection there from anybody. No doubt about it. No doubt.
Without a doubt, top 5. All right, back to football. The Badgers. I mean, we're talking about Packers all the time. The Badgers, they open up camp today
Come on now.
in Platteville. Defensive coordinator Mike Tressel, he likes getting away from campus.
I love the fact that you can sort of shut the rest of the world out and just develop relationships. And Coach Fix actually emphasized to us that we've installed this defense, even with the adjustments since last year. Coach Grimes installed this offense multiple times already. So this Platteville trip is not as much about X's and O's. The techniques, we've already taught them. It's more about the building of relationships, the building of trust.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking
amazing.
about.
Thought he was going to say it's about the Jimmies and Joes. That would have been an excellent
It's about the
bar.
Jimmies and it's about the Joes.
No, but I think that's that whole Remember the Titans kind of feel of like we're getting away. We're
100%
shutting everything on. We're going to forge our own fire together, you know?
I was always more of a Junction Boys guy myself, but that had some problems back in the 1950s.
A couple. But it really is true. I mean, in a day and age in college football where so many of these rosters are going to turn over so much, you do need an opportunity, and they have the guys in the locker room have been doing it for a number of weeks and months, and the workouts that they've gone through and put their bodies through. But now you also got to feel some of that love from the coaches. I think Luke Fickell's speech today, Doug, 131 days. That's like kind of the max of what you're going to have for the entire season. So go and make the absolute most of it and see what you got with this group. And you know what? No one's expecting anything of you.
That's the other thing.
It's a great point,
Doug.
Billy.
I just listened to Joel Klatt say they were going to win 3 games.
Yeah. I mean,
3 games.
Even Luke Fickell was asked about that at Big Ten Media Days in Las Vegas last week. He's like, look, there's an opportunity there. And when no one is expecting anything of you, that's when you can go out and surprise people. And if you look at Wisconsin football history, they've had their best seasons when the expectations were low. I don't know that I've ever gone into a season, with this team since the start of the Barry Alvarez era, maybe year number 2 of the Barry Alvarez era, that expectations were lower. And that's to say that back when Barry started, the expectations were at 0 because they had been so irrelevant for so many decades. Barry came in, and we all know what Barry did, turned himself into a Hall of Famer and the Badgers into one of the top programs, still searching for that first elusive national championship, still searching for that first college football playoff appearance.
Try to get to the Big Ten championship first.
Baby steps. But you know what? In this new era, you don't necessarily even have to go to the Big Ten championship game to wind up in the college football playoff.
That's fair.
It helps.
Yeah,
it certainly helps, but it's not necessary. But point taken, without a doubt. There's a long way to go for this Badgers team. I think they're going in the right direction. Here's the question that I have, though, is will fans be patient to let some of the recruits, because they have been recruiting well, will there be enough time to get these recruits in and really start to put that real full stamp on the program? Because in college athletics, I know that timelines accelerate now in this NIL era, and I get that and I respect that. But you still need at least 3 or 4 years to fully implement your program into your
and that's where you're at. You're in year 3. You have those guys that are starting to come up. You have to see some development with it. And we said this last year, it didn't come true, right? Mike and I had mentioned it a lot of times that they could be a better football team and have a worse record. Well, they were not as good of a football team in 2024 as they were in 2023. Yeah. And they had a worse record this year,
especially in
much
the second half when it felt like anything was going to happen in the
last run. Yeah, but the final, but the part of it is, Doug, like they can be a markedly better football team than they were last year and have a much worse record. They have like the third worst schedule, hardest schedule in all of Division I college football. So it is going to be an absolute battleground for them to be able to work through. And everyone, I'm excited to see. Hopefully, you build a little bit of momentum. Start out 3-1, right? Start out 3-1. You win the first 2. Go to Tuscaloosa. Come on, go to Tuscaloosa. Come back, beat up on Billy Edwards' former team, and then you're 3-1, and then you go and figure it out. But long way to go there. I'm excited to get some eyes on that football team coming up next week when we are in Platteville as well. Going to be awesome. Cannot wait for it. But we got a lot more going here in the Brewers fandom as well, and Packers to go through. Great time to talk sports right now in the middle of August.
Without a doubt. It's going to be fun. It's going to continue to be fun.
That's for sure. Dougie, we can't wait to see you over here in a couple of minutes for practice.
Sounds good.
That is Doug Russell hanging out with us here. He's at Lambeau Field. We're at Ray Nitschke Field. He's going to be over here at Ray Nitschke Field as the Packers are commencing over and joining us at Ray Nitschke Field, riding bikes over and joining and getting themselves stretched out in the Don Hudson Center to come out here for regular practice. Doug Russell will be here, and he'll be joining us as well for an update at 11. Now, pivot, quick turn of a double play. Talk some Brewers baseball with our friend Tim Allen of the Baseball Postgame Show. Last night, a celebratory one. I was listening on the iHeartRadio app late into the night, even though these boys were saying that I was sleeping. These guys saying
you're not really.
These guys thought I was sleeping. No, I just wanted to have the room dark.
Yeah.
Door closed.
And listen to Timmy.
To be able to listen to Tim and Pipe on the Baseball Postgame Show, celebrate that big win. Tim Allen, there's a lot of times that you can celebrate. Last night, being able to rebound the way Jacob Mizorowski did. Do you agree with Christian Yelich? That was your favorite Jacob Mizorowski start in the big league so far?
It was huge. It wasn't my favorite, but it has impact.
Yes.
Big time impact, because at some point, yeah, Yelly's right. And then you are going to get beat on some days. And it's about how you respond, how you react to it, how you bounce back, put whatever term on it that you want. But, they may need him to do that if he gets beat up just a tick in a playoff game in the second or third inning.
Yeah.
And it's how you come back and just hold the fort here. With this offense, it's about buying time for them to put runs on the board. Ultimately, they're going to. The fighting woodpeckers is a term that Murphy uses, but you got to buy the time there. And if you give up a few, know that you'll score a few, but you have to have the time to do that. And that's exactly how it played out. Just buy us a little time, Christian. We'll get to this Boyd. We'll get to this Matthew Boyd character. We'll get to him. Just buy us some time. And he did that. That was huge.
And what I thought was great from a team standpoint last night was you have the Eeyores, and sometimes like me, you're down 3-0. Things are looking very bleak. And you're walking into a series that a lot of people are thinking this is the series of the year. This is huge. Obviously, your rivals in town. You're tied for first. A great, two good teams. And you're sitting there saying, oh, man, we got our guy on the mound. He gave up 3. The ball's getting booted. Things are looking bleak, right? And Murph has this boxer mentality like, no, we go back and we fight another round. And how great was it to see the team as a unit come back and fight back against this team? Mizorowski did it, but also the offense did it to punch back and overcome that adversity and then take game 1 of this really important series. It's just so important. You feel to the psyche of this team that they know they can do it against these guys.
It makes it so much better, Armen, that the Cubs actually thought they were going to run away with it.
Right. They're like, this is what's supposed to – they thought this is what's supposed to happen. This is the way things are supposed to be.
Which makes it so much better that you snatched it away from them when they actually thought they were going to win. Now they're not going to admit that to you. There's still 9 innings of offense, and we're only up 3-0, but just maybe more so toward the fan base.
Yeah,
they thought they had that game in the bag, and they were going to freight train these guys, and it didn't happen. Now was that first inning an abomination? Yes.
Epic proportions.
Unmitigated disaster.
I heard that last night. I like that was well done.
I hate to say it. I mean, even I was saying to Trevor in the house last night, I said, well, some days are diamonds, some days are stones. Like,
so you thought the game was?
I was an Eeyore in that situation. And I got to do better to believe in this team. Whatever cliche, unmitigated.
Well,
that's pretty funny.
Did it get a little worse when you get a couple of runners aboard in the bottom half
and didn't get it?
Mind you.
Yep.
And then Contreras and Yelly decide to, after 2 walks, to start the game in the bottom of the first for the offense. You decide to swing at 3 of the next 4 pitches.
Right. Instantly.
Ooh, yeah. What? Someone wanted to bang a 3-run home run to tie it, and would be
trying
my guess.
to.
Understandably so. But I think, that also highlighted one thing that's different, I think, about our team than the Cubs. We were getting base runners on every inning. All right. We were threatening their pitching every
2
inning.
in the first, 2 in the second, put up 4 runs in the third.
I don't believe they have the depth of talent in that rotation and in their middle relief that the Brewers do. When a guy like Miz could flip the switch and did, and all of a sudden, boom, 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 put down how many in a row he did. Boyd, who the Cubs are throwing out there, they don't really have those guys that you believe can really flip that
Boyd
switch.
was an all-star this year.
He was. He had had a good year.
He's having
a
great year.
I just don't know if they really believe that they have guys that have such dominant stuff that they could totally,
I don't
switch.
I don't know if that's the case. I think they feel pretty confident in that rotation. However, they are trying to add, right? Everyone's trying to add, and they're trying to go get Mitch Keller or somebody to go with Imanaga and Boyd, because they've been their horses this year, no doubt about it. Timmy, Miz goes out there and struggles early. I'm talking to you in the middle of the game as well. And then the insurance run comes from the 2 bombs. The double doink by Yelich is A1 for his 20th of the year. But 28 Andrew Vaughn is continuing to put himself not only in the mix for the rest of the stretch run, but he's going to get himself into how do you take this guy out of the lineup territory.
That's what
when
you
Rhys
want.
Hoskins comes back, right?
It is what you want. Now, it runs into a little maybe a brick wall here as to what you're going to do. If Yelich is going to, which again, I'm not discounting that Yelich plays more in the outfield.
Mm-hmm.
What do you do with Collins then? You're not sitting Frelick. You're not sitting Churio. what you're going to take Isaac Collins out of here?
Maybe becomes a fourth outfielder.
And here's
He
where I'm
was so
going
good
with
last
this,
night. Yeah.
that I still think Reese Hoskins is going to play a part of this. Well, to your point, now where's he going to play if Andrew Vaughn makes it so difficult you can't take him out? Now what? Because there's only one DH spot. It's either Yelich or Hoskins when you look at it, right?
Which also makes the report from Ken Rosenthal, it's in his What I'm Hearing article today at The Athletic, that the piece that he puts the Brewers around is Ryan O'Hearn after acquiring Danny Jansen last night, backup catcher from the Rays, that among teams interested in Ryan O'Hearn would not be a perfect fit for Milwaukee. The team could find at-bats for him at first base, in left field, or at DH. So again, another reason to take Isaac Collins out of the lineup. I mean, I get it. We do want to bat. We do want to add. But you do also not just want to add guys that are struggling. Like, he's hitting like 212.
For the sake of it, right?
He's hitting 212. So, like, if I'm trying to force feed in at bats,
Yeah.
It has to make some sense. I like the Jansen piece. I was a little surprised that it was Eric Haas being DFA'd, though, when you guys were on last night. Were you surprised that was the corresponding move with that?
Yeah, it's just, wow. I'll trust Matt Arnold, but you're always in an effort to make all of your team better.
Yeah.
Even the bench, even the backup roles, just make them better. I love that philosophy, but to me, is this a prelude for something else? I thought originally, because of the Jefferson Caro injury,
yes,
that this was just a coverage in case something happened to Contreras or Haas. And that clearly wasn't the case here. So again, log jams are a good thing to have. I just don't see, with Hoskins coming back, and this is a big if, maybe not a big if Vaughn continues to do what he's doing. Okay, then Hoskins is coming back. The only two spots that you're going to trade for are third base and shortstop. I don't see any other. Do you guys see any other? Because Collins is out there. Yelich is going to soak up DH role. One of the two, Vaughn, Hoskins, is going to soak up a DH.
Yeah.
Yelich is going to soak up a left field spot at times.
Well, yeah.
Collins is tough to take out of there. There's only two spots here. And it doesn't mean, I want to make sure everyone's clear on this. It doesn't mean that you're giving up on the future of Caleb Durbin and Joey Ortiz.
Not at all. And
simply because you make your team better this year.
No, you're trying to win. And those guys will, in 3 years, when they're hopefully continuing to develop the same way, they would want the team to do the same thing to the rookie, right? Like the vets in the clubhouse are going to be able to explain, hey, man, this is how this works, but you're going to have plenty of opportunities to be in my chair, wanting the team to be able to go and improve. I still think the only way that it's not on the left side of the diamond, Timmy, is the tick of musical chairs that I still think is available, and the one that I like, of Brandon Lau from Tampa Bay to improve second base, and then Bryce Terang flips over to short. Like that's the only way that it would be outside of those two positions, but those two positions are impacted, is what I'm saying. Like, unless that's the move where you're getting the power bat at second, but it's those two spots that you still feel like you can improve, and it's kind of two or three guys. And I think we know the names, and until they go, this is still going to be a little bit of a question if they're going to be able to get this done in the next 48 hours.
And you wonder on top of that, if Terang's shoulder, after 10, 20, 30, 50 more games at shortstop, is going to hang in there. You saw what happened to him at shortstop in spring training.
Yeah, that's not really a road you want to go down in the most important part of the year. I mean,
you're
you'd like to
affecting
think you
another
can.
position.
Right, and we still don't really know what all really went down with that. I still think that's been the conundrum with this trade deadline for the Brewers.
Good problem to have.
It is a good problem to have, because in theory it's counterintuitive. It's illogical, because you're saying, well, listen, we think we're good at all these positions because they've been playing well and they're winning. So therefore, it doesn't seem like there are too many obvious play. Well, boy, we need to improve on this, this, and this. We've been talking about how much depth this rotation has, how many guys we have in the logjam. But you're right. That doesn't mean you still can't improve on any position. Granted, if there's a greater player there that
you can
could
improve
get.
on the Anthony Seaglers,
and that's fair. And that's I think what this Jansen trade, Jansen trade is all about is preparing yourself for a depth piece where in certain situations you might make yourself better on the margins or push an edge towards your direction if it comes down to it.
Again, I'm going to trust Matt Arnold on this. And it comes down to, do you think Danny Jansen is better than Eric Haas?
Mhm.
All the way around, though. Don't just look at certain metrics. Don't just look at one aspect of the game. How's this going to influence the pitching staff? Haas is used to these guys.
Yeah.
Right?
Good
And
point.
Jansen's got to come in. Is that going to affect a pitcher or two, whether that's a reliever or a starter? You have to ask those questions. And then you nix them because you trust Matt Arnold.
Yes.
So we'll see.
If we were going to make this move, I wish we would have done it before Memorial Day weekend, so Danny Jansen could have been at Dan Jansen Fest. It would have been
That's what I'm
better.
saying. You know how
there would have been an amazing appearance there on Saturday before Cherry Pie played at Dan Jansen Fest.
Well, everybody wants to be hanging
everybody
out at
wanted to
Conkle
be there
Park.
when Bella Kane took the stage at
Right.
Dan Jansen Fest. I bet Danny Jansen would have loved it. I think he's going to be a great addition. Timmy's got 11 homers, and you and I talked during the game last night, and I do apologize for calling you during the game.
That's all right.
Listeners got to know, sometimes I just got to buzz Timmy during the game to get a frustration off, and not always about the baseball team. People around the baseball team sometimes are the ones that I'm griping about. But you were talking about his OPS against lefties, and it does feel there's a clear reason they acquire him here. And part of one thing that, the manager on the other side, formerly of this team, used to always go is they're going to put the guy in the best opportunity to be successful. I wouldn't be surprised if every single time there's a Matthew Boyd on the mound, you find a way and they're going to crowbar Danny Jansen somehow into the lineup.
Yeah, and it keeps maybe the finger is on Contreras as healthy as it can be.
Could be.
Now the conversation, if they add a legit bat on a regular lineup basis, I mean, don't you have to have the conversation about where to hit William Contreras?
Yeah, I mean, that's becoming a thing. And I know Murph talked about last night, look, resting won't do it any good. If it hurts, it hurts. If it hits it, so what? Why would I rest him? He's still taking his walks and things like that, but his bat isn't what we've counted on it to be. Now, if he finds that or somehow gets that surge back, that would be a huge boon for the team.
What do you got, Dave?
So I looked this up yesterday when it comes to where William Contreras is hitting in the order. When Contreras is batting second in the order, he's hitting 296 this season with a 736 OPS. When he's batting fourth, he's hitting 265 with a 748 OPS. When Contreras is batting third, hitting 171 with a 556 OPS.
Sure.
So I don't know where you put him, but maybe
But
just
not
anywhere
three.
but third.
Anywhere but three.
It does seem obvious.
Great numbers,
when you
Dave,
see
yes.
numbers like
But
that.
he's doing, and I bottom lined it last night on the show. I just said, look, he's doing just enough to stay where he's at.
Just enough, yes.
Just enough. He is. And I would stick with him. He is sort of that leader guy on that field a little bit. And look, they're 20 games over 500 with the best record in baseball.
Yeah.
I think you can absorb a little lateral movement with Contreras.
And I'll tell you this, still game on the line. We did our rankings. We talked about it with Mike Heller yesterday to give some love to Caleb Durbin. The guys that game on the line, biggest at bat of the game, who do you feel good about in that box? I still feel pretty good when William Contreras has the bat in his hand. I do know one thing, Timmy. The swing is going to come early.
It's going to be.
Don't go and grab a drink.
Especially.
Don't turn. Don't look
No,
and check your email. William Contreras is swinging in the first two, so you don't want to take your eyes off the screen.
When the opposing pitcher looks at, well, what do we want for my pitch count here? Okay, we'll count 5, 6 for Contreras. That's it for the day.
That's all you need.
Especially with a runner. This I've noticed, especially with a runner at third with less than 2 out.
Guaranteed.
Ain't no way he's waiting. He
No,
wants to
he's
knock
swinging.
the run in immediately.
He's hacking, and now he might hit it 114 right on the ground. But he is swinging, no doubt about it.
And the funny part is he's taking a lot of walks this year, too. So he has been somewhat able to keep his discipline.
But he's still hacking
So
early.
hacking early.
He's still
If-
hacking early.
if there's a
I'd love-
strike, he
I'd
likes
love
to
to know
pitch.
how many of those walks come after he's down 0-2.
Right, you're right.
Timmy, cannot wait for it tonight. We're going to be listening after
we get to do
Brewers
it
and
again.
Cubs. Armen is going to the game tonight with a Cubs fan.
Oh.
And then
My wife he's talking about.
I'm just,
You're right. It's true.
I didn't have to. I'm not talking.
Not
about
my daughter. She's
Listen,
a
I'm not
Brewers
putting
fan.
your personal business out there. I'm
Yeah,
just
it's all
saying the
good.
facts. You're bringing a Cubs fan to the game tonight, and then I'm bringing Tim Allen to the Potawatomi Sportsbook tomorrow to do this little show, No BS. I cannot wait for it. I hope I can get some of that good energy and victory from you on remote. Listen, I might even kiss your forehead. Hopefully you don't get mad like the guy did at Christian Wilkins, but I'm going to be excited we start winning
Don't
tomorrow.
touch me. Everyone, no, I don't like to be touched.
Nobody hates physical contact more than Tim Allen.
You know what? Don't go to the big Armenian wedding party then. Okay, that's all I'm gonna say, because everyone's hugging and kissing everyone all the time. It's just the way it is in Eastern Europe. Now that's okay though. He has a right not to like it. Everyone's body's their own property.
Handshakes are good. I don't mind handshakes.
Elbow bumps.
Timmy,
That's okay.
Sometimes you just need to get a good little shoulder rub and loosen up
you know,
Timmy. He's all tight up there.
The attaboys and the shoulder
come on.
scrump and just,
Right, stuff like
Get in
that.
there a little bit.
Wow.
Yeah, the Ellis Andrews, Adrian Beltre touching the top of the head. Not a fan.
Because I'm a hug guy, but I got a feeling, well, that's a whole different story. I
Well,
don't.
just watch out. We're going to be in the booth tomorrow at the Potawatomi Sportsbook, so it's going to be a good time.
Tomorrow morning, I'll see you there. But we'll see everyone tonight, post-game show, Brewers-Cubs, Game 2.
We'll be celebrating after the victory tonight and after a Father Priester gospel. We appreciate it, brother.
You got it.
That is Tim Allen of the Baseball Postgame Show hanging out with us here on No BS, live from Rain Issue Field. Armen's got the binoculars out. We saw Mike Heller and have seen him. He was here very early.
I've located him and Drew and Trevor talking right now with somebody. Is that KB?
Does he have the Hokas on?
No, Mike
no,
Heller.
Mike's got the tucked in
purple polo shirt.
Okay.
Looking good.
Eh,
No,
sure.
Looking.
877-794-1973. I'm Billy Schmidt. That's Armen Sari, and it's No BS live from the Perch. We're going to be joined by the voice of the Green Bay Packers, Wayne Larrabee, coming up. And the Packers are going to join the practice field and be right in front of us, getting themselves ready for the 2025 campaign. Who around the division are you most concerned about in this 2025 season? We're going to discuss it throughout practice here today into hour number 3 when the voice of the Green Bay Packers, Wayne Larrabee, joins us. Coming up on the other side, it's No BS on the Game.
The Packers may be in camp, but the Brewers talk doesn't stop. Tim Allen breaks it down after every game.
6-5 the final score. Hearts in your throats.
After the last pitch, make the switch to the Baseball Postgame Show.
These guys are rolling.
Presented by Potawatomi Sportsbook. Bet above the rest. On Milwaukee's most listened to sports station.
Wow.
97.3 The Game.
Our iHeartRadio Music Festival, presented by Capital One, is back in Vegas.
T-Mobile Arena.
Streaming live only on Hulu. A weekend full of superstar performances. And listen, starting Monday, to win your way there.
Escape to poolside paradise at MGM Resorts in Las Vegas. Sip on a refreshing cocktail. Lounge in a luxury cabana. Earn on nonstop fun with MGM Rewards. Book a sizzling summer escape today. Visit MGMRewards.com for details.
Your escape, your backyard retreat, your deck. Build it better with Trex from Blifford Lumber. The original composite decking. Trex is famously durable. Comes in a variety of colors, needs no staining, painting, or sealing. And with Blifford Lumber's decking experts, your Trex deck will be the life of your backyard. Build it better. Build it local with Trex decking from Blifford Lumber. For a Blifford Lumber nearest you in Milwaukee or in the surrounding areas, visit BliffordLumber.com.
At Rehab Lab Wisconsin, I get the kind of treatment pros depend on. Even if you don't wear a jersey, you get the same level of care. Hey, it's Brian Butch. Dr. Sam and the team treat every client like an athlete, whether you're a weekend runner, a coach, or just tired of nagging pain. Their hands-on, science-backed approach keeps me performing at my peak, and it'll get you moving better too. This is elite-level rehab made accessible and effective for everyone. Go where the pros go. Life is an athletic event, and it's time for you to get back in the game. Book your appointment with Rehab Lab Wisconsin today.
When people think sleep apnea, they think CPAP. Now at Advent, we do all we can to help sleep apnea sufferers avoid the CPAP machine. And most sleep apnea sufferers who come to Advent are going to be able to avoid a CPAP altogether. Our unique Advent approach using simple in-office solutions can get your nose working and throat open all under one roof. You see, the root of every snoring and obstructive sleep apnea problem lies within the throat, nose, or both. At Advent, we know when we get the nose and throat working properly, most snoring and sleep apnea problems will subside. And we have the most simple and convenient, ultra-effective in-office solutions that can do just that. And this is why people have traveled by planes, trains, and automobiles from corners of the world you would never think of to find the sleep apnea and snoring relief you won't find elsewhere.
Go to adventknows.com to schedule your appointment, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better.
AdventKnows.com.
Most insurance accepted.
Guys, what's going on? Tim Allen joined Pipe Bomb and me. It's game 2 of this big series, and the Brewers up in the series, looking to take it tonight. Post-game show with Potawatomi Sportsbook on the Game.
Lowe's knows big savings make a big difference, especially when you're shopping for appliances. Hurry in to get up to 30% off select major appliances. Plus, My Lowe's Rewards members get free delivery, free haul away, free installation and parts on purchases of $2,500 or more. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid through 7/30. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. Price, delivery time, and vehicle availability may vary based on order size and location. Exclusions apply. See Lowe's.com/delivery for more details.
Upgrade your learning experience during Dell Technologies Back to School event with AI PCs like the Dell 14 Plus featuring an Intel Core Ultra processor starting at $749.99. Supercharge your studies with features like real-time notes transcription, AI accelerated hardware to run multiple apps without slowing down, extended battery life, and more. That's the power of new AI PCs with Intel inside. Discover a smarter way to learn at Dell.com/deals. That's Dell.com/deals.
You've got apps for everything. Music, photos, even ordering coffee. But only one app gives you the live radio experience. It's radio your way. Anytime, anywhere. Join the millions already listening. The free iHeartRadio app. The #1 app for radio.
We continue to celebrate the great game of golf and roll into the month of August. Already? It's already August? We'll invite great guests in like Steve Skinner from Kemper Sports, Andy Spalding from the Broadlands Golf Club in North Prairie, Wisconsin, and Paul Zelensky, the GM at PGA Tour Superstore. All that in a new month. Teeing up at 8 a.m. on 97.3 The Game.
Make 97.3 The Game your #1 preset on our free iHeartRadio app. Powered by Gruber Law.
One call, that's all.
Injured?
Remember, one call, that's all.
I just wanted to say I listen to you on iHeartRadio every morning.
Download the free iHeartRadio app for all your music, radio, and podcasts. Live from the all-new Iron Jock Studios, built by Rima Remodel. This is No BS with Billy and Sardia.
I've waited for this. I'm so excited.
On The Game.
A million miles away, a message to the main.
This hour of No BS brought to you by Happy Place Hemp, happyplacehemp.com. Everybody relax. Happy Place Hemp here for your Delta 8, Delta 9 gummy needs. CBN, CBD gummies. Say you're in a room with an individual that is just snoring like no other.
Okay, I'll try and put myself in that position.
Armen, we speak hypotheticals in sports radio a lot of times, right? So, like, imagine you're in like a big group setting. Everyone's sharing rooms.
Multiple rooms.
And buddy
workers.
that you get paired up with is just sawing logs every night.
All right.
Tearing the wallpaper off the walls.
Yeah.
You know what might give you a better night's sleep?
What's that?
A CBN gummy from Delta from Happy Place Hemp.
That
Be able to give you a nice, relaxing calmness, help you sleep through the night, right through whatever noises you might have. You might think that's a sound machine that you paid hundreds of dollars
Hundreds of dollars, yeah.
with all different settings
Yeah.
and the cushiony sound of the mother's womb.
Yeah. Oh,
That's
yeah.
what you might think the snoring is.
Right.
Instead of somebody, I don't know, potentially having a grabber. It's going to calm you down.
Well, that's a good point,
CBN,
Billy.
CBD gummies from
Yeah.
Happy Place Hemp, happyplacehemp.com. Also, pet products that, maybe your pet is the one that snores. That would be the one right here.
Does that happen to your dogs there?
Bella is just, listen, if this was the hypothetical, my 11-year-old Boston Terrier.
So you got Boston's, I was going to say.
She'd be in the running for some of the best snoring around. It's pretty impressive stuff. However, what also is pretty impressive stuff is getting 25% off that entire order every time at happyplacehemp.com. Use promo code Billy to be able to get that deal. Happy Place Hemp and happyplacehemp.com. Packers are going to be arriving out onto the field in a couple of minutes. Specialists on the other side. Stretch going on inside the Don Hudson Center. Coaches are getting to their stations and getting ready to roll. And Wayne Larrabee is going to join us coming up here, and we'll roll into a lot of football conversation in the next part of the show. But I wanted to put this one out here for Mike and Merrill on the talking text line before we go pretty much all football. The constant chatter on adding a bat on the left side is exhausting. But does anyone ever weigh in the possibility that change being detrimental on defense? How many runs saved do Caleb Durbin and Joey Ortiz have this year? Their defense is definitely top tier in baseball, and that's not questioned, right? I think when you're talking about the Brewers' ability to win big in October, pitching and defense has always been the core of what they do. That's where some of the other names, like a week and a half ago before the Miami Marlins got so hot, Xavier Edwards was brought up and Otto Lopez were brought up because they were some of the better defenders in baseball. Miguel Garcia, his name comes up from the Royals, really top-notch defender. That's why Ryan McMahon made a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Because defensive run save, Dave, he's one of the better ones over the last 3-4 years at third base in all of baseball.
Yeah.
When he was acquired by the Yankees. Eugenio Suarez, all of his defensive numbers have come out, and people are starting to grab a hold of those.
That's the new trendy thing now, yeah.
So the Brewers, if anybody are going to think about it, it will be Milwaukee. I think that's also part of the mathematics when Tim Allen's asking, how much are we seeing Christian Yelich into the outfield, right? Like, so that is going to be a part of their equation. No, most fans are not thinking about it, Mike. However, you're thinking about 2-1 pitch last night to Joey Ortiz right down the pipe at like 94. What is Eugenio Suarez doing with that, right? Like, you're thinking of the opportunity to take advantage of the mistakes when you have a player in your lineup that is consistently not taking advantage of those mistakes, right? So that's the part of it. I get that defense is going to have to be a part of this. You can't just bring in somebody who's going to be an absolute albatross defensively because it's going to mess up the core of what you're about. But you do have to weigh in what that 2-run, 3-run homer in game 2 can do for you, and how much that is a backbreaker to an opponent once you get to the playoffs.
Yeah, and I think, I'm curious to know if you agree, Dave, but I think part of the reason it's understandable is because offense in success and failure is a lot more quantifiable to define what's successful and not than defense is in baseball. It always has been, because I think the eye test in defense can lie to us sometimes. We might see a guy make a great play, but that doesn't necessarily mean that the objective metrics that we attempt to have, like defensive runs saved, or it was ultimate zone rating for a while, or defensive WAR, necessarily, contributes to eye test. So I think it's a lot easier to look at a guy hit a home run and say, how many home runs does he have this year? How many, what's his average? What's his OPS? Because defense it's a lot harder to quantify success and failure in baseball.
It is. And the Brewers have really good defenders over there. I mean, Caleb Durbin has been great playing a brand new position. And Joey Ortiz has been absolutely fantastic. Even through his offensive struggles, he's made some incredible game-saving plays for the Brewers on defense. But also, to your point, Armen, about metrics and making it hard to quantify, I pulled up Fielding Bible's defensive runs saved leaderboard. Looking at the Brewers here, Caleb Durbin atop the list, 7 defensive runs saved. Wow, that's fantastic. Where's Joey Ortiz? Dead last at -5.
It's interesting because and you know what? Because we've seen him make great plays. I mean, I think I know I mentioned it the last couple of weeks.
That's awesome.
Like he made a play every game that I was spinning my head around. I'm like, man, this guy's really increased his shortstop. Like he's picking the ball lately. He's making great plays. It was the whole Derek Jeter argument for years. A lot of people saw Derek made some impressive plays look smooth, but a lot of people would say, look, he's just not getting the ball. He's not actually that good. And it's hard to quantify. Orlando Arcia, we had the same issue about. Orlando Arcia came up, and the idea was like, this guy's a wizard on defense, but his numbers were never that good.
But Arcia's was a lot easier to explain. Because Orlando Arcia would make one of the greatest defensive plays you've ever seen a shortstop make.
And then boot one.
And then a ball would be hit right to him, and he'd airmail it like Jacob Mizorowski.
Inconsistency, I get that.
So that one makes a little bit more sense. This one is stunning. However, also hilarious. Like,
it's hilarious, isn't it?
In the same vein. Because you do see somebody play exceptionally well over there. But I am only looking at it from very much looking at it from an offensive lens. To Mike's point, most people, I think, are looking at it from an offensive lens. Because offense, like you said, Armen, is easier to grab onto.
Yeah.
The fielding percentages and all of that, it will show up probably at the worst possible time. It's almost like here in the practice on the practice field for the Packers, procedural mistakes.
Sure.
Defense in baseball is just expected to be done, right? Not false starting, not having delay of games, right? Illegal formation.
Yeah.
Those are backbreaking to an offense because it feels like a given.
Yeah,
and that's where in defense it
mistakes.
feels like in baseball.
Yeah, I totally agree. Now, the sentiment, though, that he gives, I do have a lot of sympathy for. I mean, I've always been more on the side of if I like my guys, I don't feel the need to rock the boat than other people do. And I get the sentiment of trying to get better, and I think that's totally fine. But there have been times, and, I've talked about this, where I've been a little bit annoyed, specifically at the Caleb Durbin talk, where he's actually had really good numbers this year, and we talk about the defense and the war, and he's hitting a lot better. And I'm thinking, well, maybe we shouldn't be trying to replace him. So I have a sympathy for that take. And I'm not going to say it annoys me, though, because there are there are times when I could have said that, too, about guys that I thought were doing fine. Then all of a sudden we get a Moustakas, and he's taking our offense or our infield to the next level. Or you do pick up a good now. At the time, we needed Sabathia. But, like, you think of some of the great trade deadlines at the time, moves that the Brewers have made, and they weren't ones that you thought might matter, but they ended up being pretty good ones. Gerardo Parra was a guy I remember. I wasn't thinking, we need a switch hitting outfielder that can play all. But he's out here.
Helped stave off that 2014 collapse.
Unfortunately, that did happen, but it wasn't his fault.
Pitchers, Baron Beaver Dan, pitchers will pitch Suarez differently than Ortiz. Yeah, no doubt about it. However, you are still going to make mistakes, right? You're still going to make a mistake, and that's where being able to capitalize on that mistake, that's where that power bat comes from. Mark and the SP said, how many more runs are we scoring, though, if we add 30 extra bombs in the last 90 days?
Exactly.
Suarez is a no-brainer.
That's a great question.
I like Mike and Merrill said, Billy, I got to say, though, sometimes I just wish Joey would leave his bat in the dugout, not take it up there. Take a walk every single time and see what happens. Might have a better average.
The old Armen Little League strategy.
He is definitely trying to take walks.
Yes.
Joey Ortiz is definitely trying to take walks. That's why he's missing a lot of balls that are right down the pipe. However, maybe he's playing chess, not checkers, because I saw a pitch in the Orioles game yesterday that was
I saw that highlight.
It could not split the strike zone
right down the middle,
more in the middle, and they're like, dude, you couldn't have put it on a tee in there any better than it was right there.
Apoplectic announcers. Apoplectic. It was great. You ask yourself, what was the ump seeing? Was he like paying attention? Did he have a brain fart? Some
people were asking if Tim Allen was calling balls and strikes. 877-794-1973, because Timmy always wants to call balls.
Sure.
He wants everybody to walk. He wants somebody with a high walk rate. Tim Allen's favorite baseball player.
I love that, too. I'm with you on that. So, I listen, I want to say one more thing also about the Jets.
Let's hear one
this
more
is not loser talk. Well, it might be to you. I also think it's okay if this lineup isn't perfect, the 27 Yankees. Like, yes, we might not have a perfect lineup, but we're going to have one position out of 9 that we think is subpar, and that's all we're focusing on all the time. It can get a little exhausting. Not saying you shouldn't try to improve all the time, but, it might be possible to win if you don't have a perfect team. I don't know. Just saying that.
That's a fair point. I get what you're saying.
I'm not saying we shouldn't try and get better, but I don't want to spend, I'm not going to sit there after a great win thinking if only we had a shortstop.
Well,
I'm not going to,
But then you can't do it when you lose. Like if you're not going to do it and not going to be upset in a victory, you can't take what you can't just accept anything in victory that you wouldn't in defeat.
No, that's fair. And I'm not going to, go out with Sydney Sweeney and say if she can only cook better. Like, you know what I mean?
Sydney Sweeney's in the news. There's some Sydney Sweeney conversation going on.
Really?
And, 100%. Good morning,
See,
America.
I really didn't know that, and I didn't even realize that.
Good morning.
All right,
America.
think
Good
of a
morning,
different
America
supermodel.
situation. Yeah, well, let's just not. Let's go to break, and then, then you can be up to speed.
I apologize. I
Grab the
have no
binoculars and check out what we got going on
Colby
in this
Wooden.
walkthrough situation as the Packers are getting themselves onto the practice field. A tucked-in polo Mike Heller is joining us up here at the tent. His show is going to start up in a little over an hour from right now in the trailer. We're going to be joined by the voice of the Green Bay Packers, Wayne Larrabee. It's all happening right now live at Ray Nitschke Field. You got the game.
Here's the secret no one's telling you about those trendy weight loss shots. Many people gain the weight back after stopping, but there's a better way. Using the Milwaukee Weight Loss proprietary natural-based program, they've helped thousands of people not just lose weight, but keep it off long term. You can lose up to 10 to 20% of your body weight in just 8 weeks while protecting your muscle mass with no side effects and no rebounds. Ready to transform your body for life? You can do this. Schedule your free consultation today at MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com or give them a call at 262-433-4008. That's what I did over a year and a half ago, and it's one of the best things I've ever done. There's no prepackaged meals, no bars or shakes, no drugs or injections with the risk of serious side effects. This program helps you reset your metabolism so you can keep the weight off for good. Many patients lose 20 to 30 pounds in a month or two, so why wait? Schedule your consultation today. Give them a call at 262-433-4008 or go online to MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com. That's MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com. And when you sign up, make sure you tell them they heard about it on the game and that Billy Schmidt sent you. Results may vary.
Hey, it's Brian Butch. Some clinics talk like they work with athletes. Rehab Lab actually does. I've trained at a high level, and this team gets it. What sets them apart? They bring that same elite standard they use with professional athletes to every client. No egos, no fluff, just smart treatment plans, advanced tools, and real results. Whether you're in season or in pain from everyday life, Rehab Lab delivers elite level care for every level, and that's a game changer. If you're dealing with a nagging injury and want to get back in the game of life, go where the pros go and visit rehablabwi.com and tell them Brian Butch sent you.
When it's 94 degrees inside and you've melted to the couch,
and a dog has claimed the fridge,
and the ice cubes have melted themselves out of misery,
and you've started naming your sweat beads,
then it's officially time to call Capital. We offer same-day air conditioning service 7 days a week.
And for a limited time, all our AC service calls are free when we make the repair.
Just call Capital. We'll bring back the brrr.
Old-fashioned service, you can't go wrong. Call CapitalCares.com.
Coming up Tuesday, the Mike Keller Show, noon to 3 from the trailer outside of Packers training camp in Green Bay. We'll have guests and a lot of fun stuff going on there. We'll talk Brewers, Cubs. Vinny Bertino will join us, and any other news of the day. The Mike Keller Show, noon to 3 on the game.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textingterms.us. Texting enrolls you for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply, stop to opt out.
There's a lot on the line in divorce. This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. Divorce is complicated. It affects every part of your life, your home, savings, retirement, and of course, kids. So when you find yourself facing divorce and the unexpected directions that it can take, it's times like this that you need a partner you can count on.
If you're a man facing divorce, contact Cordell & Cordell today to connect with a local divorce attorney who understands the challenges you're facing on a personal level. Text DIVORCE99 to 323232. DIVORCE 99 to 323232. Divorce 99 to 323232. 111 East Kilburn, Milwaukee.
There's a lot of uncertainty in the world, but one thing's for sure. You need a PC you can rely on. Whether it's for school, gaming, or whatever your next chapter holds, Lenovo.com has the tech to help you succeed. Shop PCs right now at Lenovo.com during their back-to-school sale, where students can save more when they sign up for a Lenovo Education account. Free shipping, easy returns, flexible financing. That's Lenovo.com.
Lenovo. The Fox 6 weather experts are presented by AdventKnows.com.
A few showers, maybe an isolated thunderstorm or so to kick off our Tuesday, and another round possible later on this afternoon. High near 88 today, once again very humid. Overnight tonight, another round of rain and thunderstorms, and then the heat finally breaks by Wednesday afternoon. I'm Fox 6 Chief Meteorologist Rob Haswell.
This report is sponsored by First Choice Heating and Cooling.
This heat is unbearable.
Keep your family comfortable with First Choice Heating. For a limited time, get $89 off your AC and heating tune-up. Milwaukee's trusted HVAC company, firstchoiceheating.com.
The Game Live from Packers training camp is brought to you by Potawatomi Sportsbook. Bet above the rest.
Soldier Boy tough. Hey, I got this new dance for y'all called the Soldier Boy. You just gotta punch, then
no BS on the game.
Left to right.
Live from Ray Nitschke Field, Armen Sarian, myself, Billy Schmidt, now joined by the voice of the Green Bay Packers, Wayne Larrabee. Armen Sarian, a little bit nervous during the break, as many people were after Matt LaFleur, as well as Brian Gutekunst mentioned about Marshawn Lloyd. Wayne, you were in there during the press conference. It sounded not a good news nugget on Marshawn Lloyd. Many people thought that he exited practice yesterday after a little bit of a collision with Nate Hobbs. made it seem the way the head coach and GM talked that it was almost more of a non-contact situation with Marshawn Lloyd, and that was one of the reasons why he was down today.
Exactly. That was the news, I guess, out of that little tidbit of information, is that they felt, based on what they saw on tape, that as he made the cut, planted the foot, and that's where the injury occurred. And I was just thinking coming over here, the worst injuries in this game, and this is a high-speed collision game with big bodies going 100 miles an hour.
Yeah.
But the worst injuries are the non-contact injuries, or injuries that occur before the contact ever took place. And you just think of some of them over the years, Christian Watson last year in the Chicago game.
Big time. Jordy Nelson in
Pittsburgh. I mean, Brooks against the Niners on that Monday night game in 96. All those injuries were non-contact, and those are the ones where when a player goes down and it's non-contact, it's usually not good.
Yeah, they put that Brooks one. I'll never forget that one because that was scary at the time. The Packers were thin at receiver. So Brooks does have the sweats on now. Billy, as you pointed out astutely to me, is wearing the jersey, but talking to Josh Jacobs right now, but just kind of casually. So he's walking around and things like that, but they're going to be careful.
They'll test it out and see how long it potentially could be for him. And Marshawn Lloyd is a factor in that backfield. However, Wayne, they do got a lot of different guys that have played good ball for them last year, especially Chris Brooks, who really came out of nowhere for them.
Exactly. I mean, he had concussion problems down in Miami, but he was clean here, and he played very well in that role. And the other guy, not to forget about, number 31, Wilson. Yeah. This guy, Emmanuel Wilson, he can make some big plays. He's got a dimension to him, I think, that can be featured. And, we saw him hit a home run in the preseason game in Cincinnati.
Yep.
And so you saw what he can do. I understand his preseason game, but he ran the ball well, very effectively for the Packers as the third back last year.
And being able to get some answers yesterday, even before Brian Gutekunst talked today. Elton Jenkins on the practice field yesterday. He's back on there today. Spoke with the media yesterday. He said, listen, actually, center was my idea.
I cleared all that up.
I don't know what you guys are talking about. Center actually my idea. I might be better at center. So I got it. We'll handle it from here. Good to be able to see them get potentially their best five out onto the field. But now, Wayne, maybe that left or right guard position and battle can actually take a little bit of shape if he starts getting into some team drills.
Yes, exactly, Billy. And I think you'll see it happen as we go along now. But you want to get your best five out there because you want to build, as you know very well, that cohesion that is so important. It's not just X's and O's, folks. It's how they fit together and what they're able to do as a team. And that's why the offensive line has to be together. And you look at the teams that are successful offensively, generally, their starting offensive line shows up every day.
Yep, every day. One thing about the Detroit Lions last year, they had a lot of injuries.
Yeah.
That front five was together for the majority of the year. They will be without one of their backbones and their center coming up this year. We're going to talk about the rest of the NFC North throughout the third hour of the program. And different teams that have we talked a little bit about that team to the south. The one to the east and the one to the west might be the two with the biggest talkers and conversation points around them in the Vikings and Lions. We'll get into it as the Packers are getting into practice right in front of us. Matthew Golden getting into the kick return reps as well. Armen Sarian's getting into the binoculars, and we're going to get into hour number 3 with a Doug Russell update. Voice of the Green Bay Packers, Wayne Larrabee to my right. I'm Billy Schmidt. We're live at Ray Nitschke Field. It's no BS on the game.
The destination for Packers training camp coverage.
Let's do it. Ready?
The flagship of the Green Bay Packers radio network. We are 97.3 The Game.
Grab the contest rules for 97.3 The Game at thegamemke.com.
Hey, what's up? It's Russell Nicolay with Nicolay Law. If you get injured, it's Nicolay time.
Hey, it's Armen, and I have to tell you, I could not be happier with our new 97.3 The Game broadcast studio built by Reamer Remodel. It's been a game changer, all thanks to the Reamer Remodel team. RIEMER remodel.com.
I want them gummy squares. I want them gummy squares. I want some sleepy with no more anxiety. I need them gummy squares. I need them gummy squares. I need my wife to find her happy place really soon. We have Delta 8 CBD and new Delta 9s. Go to happyplacehemp.com.
Happyplacehemp.com. 25% off with promo code DrewKB. Happyplacehemp.com.
Do Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms keep coming back? Tremfya, guselkumab, may help. with rapid remission achieved at 12 weeks and lasting clinical remission at 1 year. Some even saw visible improvement of their intestinal lining at 12 weeks and 1 year. Tremfya is a prescription medicine used to treat adults with moderately to severely active Crohn's disease and adults with moderately to severely active ulcerative colitis. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Healing is possible with Tremfya. Approximately 3 out of 10 patients were in endoscopic remission at 1 year, based on areas visualized on colonoscopy, which may not represent the deeper bowel layer or entire GI tract. Individual results may vary. Ask your doctor about Tremfya today. Call 1-800-526-7736 to learn more or visit tremfyaradio.com.
Hey, Wisconsin, are you feeling summer? Then it's time to feel cheesy with delicious fair food. Feel grand with Wisconsin's top exhibitors, from quilting to horse shows. Feel amped with live music at the Bank 5-9 Amphitheater and Main Stage. And if you're feeling gutsy, Spin City is calling your name. It's time to feel good. July 31st to August 10th, only at Wisconsin State Fair. Presented by U.S. Cellular.
Broadcasting live from the top of the ratings.
How's the air up there?
This is WRNW Milwaukee, 97.3 The Game. Number 1 for sports and stuff.
KB here. Summer is the greatest thing since sliced pizza, and you deserve both with Pep's Draft House and the Summer of Pizza. When hunger hits, Pep's Draft House pizzas are sure to hit the spot. So grab a cold brew and a Pep's Pizza at your local grocer and chill out. It's summer. Eat pizza with Pep's Draft House.
If something happens to you, what happens to your family? Will they struggle financially? Will they be able to afford the home you built together? With Ethos, you can get life insurance coverage in minutes. Get up to $2 million in coverage for as little as $2 a day. All online with no medical exam. Just answer a few health questions. Get your free quote at ethos.com/game. That's ethos.com/game. Rates may vary. Billed monthly. Sample rate 10-year term life policy for a 35-year-old healthy non-smoking male.
Presenting a Gain Flings love story. Dear love of my life, we were on the 12B bus this morning when I caught a whiff. A scent so fresh, so life-changing, I had to find its source. Alas, I didn't know if you were the woman in the pink freshly washed cardigan or the retired mailman next to me, but I knew one of you was my soulmate. Ah, the scent of Gain Flings. Try Gain Flings with OxyBoost and Febreze.
Find what you love, love what you find. A Total Wine and More. There's so much waiting for you. Spirits and beer, thousands of wines. Guides in the know and prices so low. It just might blow your mind. You're gonna find what you love and love what you find.
With curbside pickup available, you'll always find what you love, only at Total Wine & More.
Drink responsibly, B21.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free timeshare exit information kit. 800-761-0000. That's 800-761-0000.
Paid for by Wesley Financial Group.
Craving an action-packed adventure? Audible delivers thrills on your command. Get your imagination going with audiobooks that keep you guessing. Captivating originals, hotly anticipated new releases, and bestsellers. Start listening free when you sign up for a 30-day trial at audible.com.
The destination for Packers training camp coverage.
Let's do it. Ready?
The flagship of the Green Bay Packers radio network. 97.3 The Game. Make 97.3 The Game your number one preset on our free iHeartRadio app. Powered by Gruber Law.
One call, that's all.
Injured?
Remember, one call, that's all.
There is no BS with Screamin' Sicilian Premium Crab Frozen Pizza. Find it in your local grocer's freezer and taste what all the screaming is about.
Drop it. He's very knowledgeable, very intelligent guy, very personable guy.
Here's Doug Russell.
All right, we'll get to the Brewers in a second, but the Marshawn Lloyd injury update isn't necessarily a great one. In the 9 o'clock hour, we heard Brian Gutekunst kind of be a little dodgy on the question. An hour ago, when I was doing this update, Matt LaFleur was downstairs from where I am at Lambeau Field. He was asked right off the bat about Marshawn Lloyd. I don't know. Judge this answer for yourself.
Kind of working through it right now, but it's unfortunate. He was doing great. It's just you'd like to have him out there. He's a guy that needs that experience, and unfortunately has had to fight through a lot of adversity.
Kind of the dreaded non-contact injury. We'll await an update. You guys are out there at Ray Nitschke Field, and I was hearing through the talkback that he's out there right now, not playing or anything, not suiting up, but he's on the field.
Yeah, he's on the field. He's in sweats. He's got his jersey on, hanging out with the boys and around the running backs. That would listen,
That's
I think
good.
That takes the worst case scenario, I think,
Right.
at least out of your mind. But you hear Matt LaFleur right there as a frustrated guy who probably put together a really nice practice plan here today with a lot of install that Marshawn Lloyd was potentially going to be a part of.
Yeah.
And he wanted to see him in a lot of these rotations because right there, Wayne, he needs those reps. He needs that experience. And that seems like a coach that is anxious to unleash a little bit of a playmaker.
No question about it. And I was asking you, I mean, I don't, if they were going to surgery, I don't think he'd be on the field now.
I don't think so.
So I think this is something that they're, as they said, working through, and it may be days or a week or two or something like that.
Yeah.
But, hopefully the young man's not out for an extended period of time.
Now, one of the things that we learned the other day was that both he and Evan Williams, they went down to Madison kind of like last year. It was Christian Watson and Eric Stokes going down to Madison to the University of Wisconsin Athletic, Performance Center, and they went through a full workup as to how to strengthen their hamstrings. They both had some injury issues that they were working through last year. So, I mean, he's done everything that you could possibly ask a young player to do when trying to get their body as NFL ready as possible. And it is just unfortunate. He's just gone through one injury after another.
And Doug, he really did look like he was, bursting on the scene. Although the first couple of practices, he looked really good.
Yeah.
And his body is different. There's no question about that. And I think he's NFL ready now physically. Just unfortunate, made that misstep and boom.
And speaking of those guys, right in front of us, Christian Watson looks like a guy on the opposite end that can be ready to play right now. I mean, I know he's rehabbing and we all know that, but I'll tell you what, he looks pretty good. Looking at something on a phone, sort of like that.
Well, and how about that? But to Doug's point with what they did at the Performance Center, it was not hamstring issues that plagued Christian Watson last year.
Yeah.
It was a hospital ball in Game 4, and it was just bad contact in helmet to a knee and then a non-contact knee, but it wasn't the hamstring deal. So there's different monikers and different things that get dropped on a lot of these guys. Sometimes it takes much longer, 18 months to get away from an issue. And then who knows? Hopefully 3, 4, 5 years of a long career without some of them.
Well, and when they went down to the University of Wisconsin, speaking of Christian Watson, it was coming off of the hamstring injury, and then it was seemingly solved last year. And it was, like you said, a couple of other unfortunate injuries. But they do wonders down there. The entire NFL uses that facility down there. Fortunately for Packers players, it's just a couple of hours drive away. But we'll hope for the best for Marshawn Lloyd, of course. But if you would have asked me an hour ago after listening to Matt LaFleur, I wouldn't have expected to see him out at Ray Nitschke Field today. The fact that he's there, to your point, Wayne, I think is a really, really positive sign.
I'll try and keep eyes on him, boys.
All right. Thank you
got 4 eyes on
him.
6 of them out there, as a matter of fact. All right, let's talk some baseball.
Aren't we a little close to the action for you to be using binoculars?
Not the far side.
Thank you, Wayne.
Not the far side.
Oh,
But they're only $10 binoculars,
All
so
right.
they might only be able to show off like Travis Glover over here.
Please, let's let Doug do the update.
Sorry, Doug. The kids call it
Now you
oral.
know why we never get through the update, because it's way too much fun to interrupt them.
It's way too much fun. I enjoy this. These are the best updates that you could possibly do because, if I get to the end of it, I feel like I've done something wrong that I haven't entertained these fellows enough. All right.
It is like a stand-up comic. If you're sitting there for 3 minutes and there's nothing.
Right.
All
if I'm doing nothing but crowd work, I'm not doing my job. The Brewers' magical season continues against baseball's other elites last night.
Frelick, right field. That one is deep and gone for Sal.
FanDuel Sports Network on the call. The Brewers rally past the Cubs 8-4 at American Family Field. So not only do the Brewers have baseball's best record, think of this way. They're 34 wins. The Brewers have 34 wins against plus 500 teams. That's second only to Toronto in that category. It means they're beating good teams.
Yeah.
and they beat another good team last night. There were some tense moments early, though, as rookie Jacob Mizrowski struggled in the first inning, giving up 3 runs. Then he got it together for manager Pat Murphy.
First inning, we're down 3-0. He feels horrible. It's adrenaline. I mean, it's like a fighter getting knocked down in the first round, and he's got to recoup. And that he did. And he started pitching. The pitching coaches did a great job prepping him. You know, you got to use all 4. This is how you got to pitch. He said at that point, I'm exhausted. And he still gave us 4, and he wanted to go out for the 5th. So I learned a lot about him, and it just goes to show you the kid can pitch, not just throw.
Brewers take a 1-game lead on the Cubs with Game 2 set for tonight at 6:40. Meanwhile, down in Appleton, so off the air, you guys were talking about Robert Gasser, who's making a rehab start tonight for the Wisconsin Timber Rattlers. You were wondering about the spread, and it is my understanding that, and I found this out because Brandon Woodruff just went through some rehab, both in Nashville and in Appleton, is generally when there's a big leaguer that's doing a rehab, he pays for the spread.
He's paying for the spread, right?
Yeah.
However, Robert Gasser only pitched like 5 games in the big league.
Right.
So does he get held to big league status? Again, Woody comes in there. I bet you they had a fat carving station, some incredible fillets, right? He had steak.
Nice stuff.
Sure. Woody knows what's up. Right? He probably had a little surf and turf deal.
Well,
does Gasser have to, or can he say, hey, man, I got Buffalo Wild Wings?
Right. So if you're on a rehab start, you're still
Wings,
drawing a
beer,
major league
sports, what's up?
salary, and the major league minimum salary is about $1 million.
Okay. So you're saying he's got to be ponying up something good.
That's what I'm saying.
I like that.
But it doesn't
I like
have
that.
to be super. There's levels to this. I agree, Billy. Maybe Portillo's or something like that.
Well, Armen, I mean,
Portillo's.
Yeah,
I love Portillo's.
I mean,
I love
listen,
listen.
I
No
stepped it up.
shade
I
against
went
Portillo's,
Buffalo
but come on.
Wild
Yeah.
You might be able to do the Texas Roadhouse. Okay.
I think you want
that might be good.
might want Buffalo Wild Wings.
Tenders and sausages.
Come on. Naked tenders, some wings, boneless, bone in. Who doesn't want some bone in?
You're not wrong.
It's better than any minor
maybe they
league
bring some Miller
spread.
Lights.
Yeah.
Yes, still better than
It's
any
better
minor
than the
league
peanut
spreads.
butter and jelly sandwiches.
That's
Yeah.
right.
I mean,
No
if you're lucky, Uncrustables, maybe on Sunday.
They got cold cuts. They got some cold cuts.
Yeah.
I would think.
Not at low A. Not at low A.
Hey, they're high A now.
Triple A will get some cold cuts.
Yeah.
You might be going to Quick Trip.
This isn't 1940. I'm sure they're not just getting scoops of peanut butter in a plate.
Well, guess what? They're still also not
Right,
getting
Wade?
they're also probably not only getting strawberry ice cream at Cold Stone.
You know, if you're getting cold cuts, you're going to Sendix. All right.
All right, let's go.
You're not going to Meyer.
No,
you're going to
Well,
Sendix.
it depends on what level of the minor leagues you're in, though, Wayne. Because
you're
if
good.
if you're at low A, you still might be going to Meyer.
You're probably
the higher
going to
you
Aldi.
go up, then you're
and you're borrowing a quarter to put
Yeah,
into the,
exactly.
into the
I
cart.
agree.
And they're not sliced in front of you. They're prepackaged stuff. You know what I mean? Been sitting there for a month.
Low A or high A, though, somebody might just have to go to Costco and get the 3-pack. So you rip that bad boy all the way through right away.
Oh, my.
Oh, Dougie, have we talked anything else that we got in here? That was phenomenal.
Eugenio Suarez got hit by a pitch last night.
Yeah.
X-rays were negative, so we'll see how that goes when the swelling goes down. I'm sure they'll take a closer look at it. Everybody's kind of holding their breath on this one because there are a lot of teams that are interested in Suarez, and the Diamondbacks, if they trade him, they want to get as much return on the investment as they possibly can get for a guy who's been tearing it up in the National League all season long. So we'll keep our eye on that. But so far, the good news is that X-rays were negative,
That's
and the
good
Badgers
news.
start camp today in Platteville.
Cannot wait for it. I saw my man John Richter running through the Platteville dorms with the air horn. That's when you know it's camp.
You know it's kicking off.
My
It's
man
game
John
time.
Richter starts taking over. That is one of my favorite parts of Badgers camp. I'm excited to get down there next week. I love this spot up here at Ray Nitschke Field, but then you watch this football practice. Then you watch what they're doing at the Division I level in college, and you're like, holy cow. This is longer, more physical, and those guys are really young.
Pause.
Okay, different deal.
Yeah, there's no CBA.
Well done. Well done, Dave.
That was good, Dave.
Well
Thank
done,
you.
Dave. And no CBA yet, Doug. Might be sooner
That's
rather
good.
than
Not
later in
yet.
college football.
Correct.
Let's be honest
Yes.
about it. All right, we can't wait to see you over here at the practice field. Great work, Doug, and we'll talk to you in a couple.
Sounds good. Thanks, boys.
That is Doug Russell hanging out with us here at the news desk as we are enjoying some special teams work, some individual drills right now for the offense and defensive linemen, DBs in front of us as well. Wayne Larrabee, Armen Sari, and myself, Billy Schmidt. Wayne, so yesterday it was a lot of conversation about the physicality from one Nate Hobbs, that he might have to tone some of it down. Doesn't tone it down day one of pads. However, I earmarked when Brian Gutekunst was asked, I want to say by Rob Reichel during his conversation that you heard in hour number 1 with us, of the physicality of the football team. And the question was, are you okay, and do you feel like your team is physical enough? And Brian Gutekunst mentioned, I have over the last couple of years, really along the same lines that we have kind of been tiptoeing around and discussing, that they've gone through an identity shift in how they're pinpointing players to bring in, the attitude they want. And Nate Hobbs feels like a perfect implementation of that, even though in the first week he seems to be driving the head coach crazy.
Yeah, exactly. But I think there's no question about that. We've talked about it. They've become a more physical team. Josh Jacobs was a big part of that, but also what they're doing on the offensive line, as you and I have mentioned, and Armen as well. Numerous occasions this spring, they are becoming a more physical football team, and you're seeing it also on defense as well. The way they stopped the run last year, that's a part of physicality. The way their cornerbacks come up and play the run, that's a part of the physicality you're looking for in a defensive football team, and I think they're getting there. I think they really want to, it gets down to this, guys. In the past, the Packers have had Hall of Fame quarterbacks. They've had great passing attacks, passing games. They've been a very good and highly successful finesse football team in most cases. But what they want to do now is obviously the physicality. They don't want everything loaded on the quarterback. Why? Because if the quarterback has a bad day in January, you're gone.
Done.
Okay? So you don't want everything on that quarterback. Go back to the 2021 game in Lambeau Field against San Francisco. San Francisco had a wounded Jimmy Garoppolo at quarterback. He couldn't make most of the throws.
Nope.
They didn't load the game plan on him. They did other things, and they won on special teams. They won with the defense that solidified. They won with a running game that night. And so it wasn't all on the quarterback. The quarterback didn't play that well, to be honest with you.
Right.
And they still won on the road. So that's where the Packers are. Jordan Love is certainly capable of taking you to a Super Bowl, in my opinion. Okay, I've seen enough. I think he's an excellent quarterback. But the fact is, even if you have a Hall of Fame guy, you don't want to load the plate all on him and to go for broke that way, because if the guy doesn't have a top-notch game, you're gone.
Then you're gone. And I would argue, guys, that Jordan is maybe the most talented that's played in this system, right? Matthew Stafford's going to be number one.
Yeah.
Right. Like, and for Aaron Rodgers, it was a little bit different system than the true Kyle Shanahan, Sean McVay, Matt LaFleur-esque way of playing football.
Right.
But there's Stafford, and then there's a bunch of guys that have been real game managers,
Brock
right?
Purdy is
the Brock
Purdy
Purdy's, the
truthers are gonna
Jimmy
come at you, Billy.
Garoppolo. Yeah, but I mean, like, that's the case.
Right.
You had a 7th-round pick that they put in there, and he looked like an all-pro
Goff,
because he simply did what you had to do. Jared Goff was in it for a long time as well. Especially outside of the pocket, the extension of plays, I think Jordan is maybe the most talented in that regard that has played in this system, Wayne.
Yeah, I think you
might
may
be
be right.
able to really unleash it. This is also why, and Jordan Love, I think, is the perfect embodiment of why Kyle Shanahan wanted to go get Trey Lance. He wanted a guy like this who would be big, physical, could make some plays outside of the pocket, and the Packers have that one. Now they have to be able to hit the max level of it, and to be able to do that and unleash a certain amount of it, you got to be able to control the ball on the ground.
Yeah, I think so too. And again, what you're saying is Aaron Rodgers under Matt LaFleur wasn't playing in
Little
this
different style.
kind of
Yes.
offense.
Yes.
It was more of Aaron at the line of scrimmage,
his
Aaron
style.
doing
Yeah.
Aaron things. And they kind of did
That
some
was
of
a
what
Matt LaFleur and Aaron Rodgers offense.
it was a compilation of
Yes.
in what's his name was here, the offensive coordinator.
Nathaniel Hackett.
Nathaniel
Yes.
Hackett. And they devised that, especially after the first year in 2019.
Totally.
They got together, those three guys got together, and they put an offense together around, a lot of input from Rodgers.
And what they had been doing was they had some very much backbone plays of that offense, but it was much different. Conceptually, yes,
Yeah.
Armen. There were definitely pieces of it that were similar, but that was much different than what the Rams are running and what the 49ers run.
Yeah.
Well, it always seemed like the issue then was Aaron didn't like a lot of movement,
as
pre-snap,
much pre-snap motion.
and the LaFleur offense, or what he wanted to do, really seems like that was always a foundation of it. And we've seen that, I think, more and more as Jordan's come in, especially when Malik was in there having to do a full running attack. The illusion of complexity was the term they used years ago for this. Now, I'm watching these guys out here. we're seeing a lot of Golden getting on some of those end arounds and reverses
Motions,
and
yep.
jet sweeps and motions. Even a little bit of McCole Hardman, another piece that we're wondering how it could fit in. It seems like they want to continue to get more creative with all the talented pieces they have, Wayne, and maybe use Jaden Reed a little bit less there, because we were talking yesterday about how Jaden Reed could get his receiving, production back up. But it seemed like he was being used so much in the jet sweep that maybe he was getting banged up a bit.
Maybe. He's not the biggest guy,
right?
And neither is Golden. But now they've got two guys like that they can use and mix and match and take some of the workload off of Jaden Reed, who they need to be effective down the stretch.
Yeah.
They needed him last year down the stretch and didn't quite go their way in that regard.
Yeah, 100%. And the amount of guys in that wide receiver room that are trying to make a name for themselves, very exciting to see. I can't wait to watch more Tucker Kraft. As the pads have come on, you get to see a little bit more of him unleashed. We had somebody trying to coin Trucker Kraft, Wayne, for Tucker Kraft being able to have the best yards after contact of a tight end. But the contact, and I still like the conversation about Nate Hobbs, because when you are trying to establish yourself in a new spot, in a new system, with a new team, you want to make a statement. The other part of it is, Wayne, he is, I think, subtly trying to hold off Carrington Valentine, who you and I have both mentioned a lot of times that we're big fans of. And also, number 36, Hayden, has made a couple of different plays here today, and he's one of the only other guys that has NFL experience in game.
Yeah, Kamal Haddon has some experience and was here last year as well during the season. So, they've got some pieces out there. I really like the kid out of Penn State, Kalen King.
Yeah.
I think he looks the part. Now, can he play? We're going to find out this summer. He's going to play a lot this summer in some of these preseason games. And, that's where Carrington Valentine cut his teeth, really, in that Cincinnati preseason game a couple of years ago. So I think we're going to get a look. They're going to develop, I think, good depth behind their three starters.
Big time.
But right now it is relatively inexperienced depth, and that's why there's such a question.
That's a good point. Yeah, defensive backfield. We've talked about, the importance of Edgerrin Cooper not having the sophomore slump. There are also young guys back there, right? I think of Bullard and Evan Williams. It's important for them to take that next step as well, I would say, Wayne.
Yeah, and I agree. And the guy I'm really looking forward to seeing in game action is Tyron Hopper.
Yeah.
Hopper is a guy out of Missouri that I think can really be he's so athletic. I mean, he might be as athletic as Edgerrin Cooper. He's not quite the player Cooper is, but he's got that kind of ability.
It'll be interesting to see if you get an opportunity at both Isaiah Simmons and Tyron Hopper on the field at the same time during some training camp games, because Simmons they were asked about Simmons earlier on today. Like, was this just a flyer and Goody kind of shot that down? Like, no, I mean, we thought he could play. There's a reason why he's here. There's a reason why he was a top 10 pick. There had to be a piece of his game, Wayne, that they have not felt has been unleashed yet.
Yeah. No, they feel he's got some room to grow, and he's had a chance with Arizona.
Yeah.
The Giants kind of misused him, as he said, last year, and he never got much of a chance. The Packers feel there's obviously a ceiling that is high enough that it's worth their time to put into this kid and see if he can play.
Incredible speed. Like, you can tell that right away on the field during even, like this a Skelly drill where you're just going through 75%. You can just see, and then into team. He was getting some first-team reps yesterday. The speed jumps off the table.
I have never seen in Green Bay, my time here, and even going back into the 90s to the Super Bowl team, the kind of athleticism and speed the Packers have at linebacker today.
100%.
Now, are they going to win a Super Bowl? We'll see, but they have great athletic ability. When you start with Quay Walker, Edgerrin Cooper, Tyron Hopper, then you've got Simmons, Isaiah Simmons. That's a lot of athleticism there.
No doubt.
That doesn't mean they're great football players,
Right.
but the athleticism is a good place to start.
And then you have some physicality in a thumper like McDuffie, who similar to like a Desmond Bishop to the A.J. Hawk, right?
Agreed.
One guy's going to get you into every situation, every alignment. Then the other one's just going to hit somebody in the mouth. And sometimes you need that as well.
Isaiah's going to make tackles.
Amen.
He's going to make tackles,
Yep.
period.
And also, just to see that group of linebackers, we talked about it with 2021, the playoff game. Drew Olson has just hammered it into my mind as well. 2020 felt like that moment at the linebacking position. You watch Devin White and Levante David go sideline to sideline for the Buccaneers.
Yep.
And you could circle, all right, I think we're going to need that pairing. If
That's
we're
what
gonna get
this
to our
is
top
all
level.
about.
Yes.
Exactly.
You know, that's drafting Quay Walker. That's, adding Edger and Cooper, Tyron Hopper. Simmons is here.
Yeah.
That's I can't agree with you more, Billy. And that was so evident. In where I first saw it was not the championship game up here, but was down there when the Packers, I believe, were undefeated in Tampa, cleaned them out like 28-7 or whatever it was.
Just blitzed all over.
And just those linebackers were everywhere. And you sat there and said, oh, my gosh, this is what we need to have here.
This is what you need to have.
Yeah.
And field tilters in the most important parts of playoff games, and it was the Vita Veas and those guys, if I remember right. I mean, the Packers were making their move, and it was 3 and out, and Rodgers got sacked 3 straight plays. If you can have guys that can come up big in those situations and not have to scheme pressure, which is something that we've had the issue with, inconsistent pressure. Hafley, the times they've had it, Hafley's had to scheme it. You're looking for guys, I think, to win that one-on-one pressure.
Two things I want people to look at with this defense as we get into training camp and then eventually into the regular season. Number one, will they stop the run, again, without TJ Slayton? Number one. Number two, again, will they be able to pressure the quarterback without getting into exotic blitzes?
Right.
Hafley did a tremendous job. He's a tremendous coach, and his staff did a great job of scheming pressure last year. But that always compromises you in another area, Billy, as you well know.
Yeah.
They need to get pressure from 4-man rush. That's the message we saw from Philadelphia last year in 2 games.
Amen. And 97 and 95 might be the 2 biggest pieces of it. Kenny Clark and Devontae Wyatt. There'll be a lot made about what the guys on the outside, Rashawn Gary and company, have done and have not done. But to get some interior pressure, that's going to be a massive key for it. And I cannot wait. We might have to take a quick time out because the excitement is about to happen right in front of us. Offense and defensive line one-on-ones.
All right.
Grab those binoculars if you want to see a show. We got a parlay of the day coming up on the other side of a quick timeout. Wayne Larrabee, Armen Sari, and myself, Billy Schmid, and Packers practice number 6 of the 2025 training camp live from Ray Nitschke Field. You're hearing it right here on The Game.
Breaking my back just to know your name. 17 tracks and I've had it with this game.
The home for your Green Bay Packers.
Love throws right side back. Shoulder. Leaping grab. Romeo does. Touchdown. Green Bay Packers. Oh, my goodness.
97.3 The Game.
Save big on everything you need when you shop at Menards. Spide Electric smart home products make everyday living simply smarter. Stay connected to home while you're away with wireless outdoor security cameras. Control all your smart home products from anywhere using one easy-to-use app. View our entire selection of Spide Electric smart home products today on Menards.com. Plus, check out our weekly flyer for other great deals happening this week.
Save big money at Menards.
Hey, it's Brian Butch. I've competed at an elite level, and let me tell you, good care isn't optional, it's everything. Rehab Lab Wisconsin gives that same level of support to not only professional athletes, but everyone who walks through the door. Whether you're chasing a podium or chasing your kids around the yard, they'll treat you with purpose. It's personal, intentional, and results-driven because you don't need to be a pro to train, recover, and move like one. Not at Rehab Lab. Go where the pros go. Life is an athletic event, and it's time for you to get back in the game. Book your appointment with Rehab Lab Wisconsin today.
What's up? It's Russell Nicolay with Nicolay Law. You're listening to 97.3 The Game, the #1 sports talk station in Milwaukee. For award-winning injury lawyers when you're injured, you call Nicolay Law or visit us at nicolaylaw.com. Get the beard, get the win.
Ah! Monstrous hairball, googly eyes. Looks like Clogzilla is back in your sink.
Not again. This always happens when I shave my back hair. Hello, Clogzilla.
Have no fear. There's a drain hero here. Just call the pros at Capital when things get hairy.
Need help defeating the beast beneath your sink? Call Capital for our best drain clearing offer ever. For only $49, we'll unclog your drain.
Old-fashioned service, you can't go wrong. Call CapitalCares.com.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textingterms.us. Texting enrolls you for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply, stop to opt out.
There's a lot on the line in divorce. This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. Divorce is complicated. It affects every part of your life, your home, savings, retirement, and of course, kids. So when you find yourself facing divorce and the unexpected directions that it can take, it's times like this that you need a partner you can count on.
If you're a man facing divorce, contact Cordell and Cordell today to connect with a local divorce attorney who understands the challenges you're facing on a personal level. Text Divorce 99 to 32 32 32. DIVORCE 99 to 32 32 32. Divorce 99 to 32 32 32. 111 East Kilburn, Milwaukee.
I thought I'd book a trip to Italy to celebrate retiring.
We didn't speak Italian.
We didn't then. We do now. Because of Babbel.
Babbel is the refreshingly easy-to-use app for learning a new language. Babbel uses immersive lessons to teach you vocabulary and grammar in a way that sticks. Save up to 50% on your Babbel subscription when you sign up at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Find what you love what you find. A Total Wine and More. There's so much waiting for you. Spirits and beer, thousands of wines. Guides in the know and prices so low. It just might blow your mind. You're gonna find what you love and love what you find.
With curbside pickup available, you'll always find what you love only at Total Wine and More.
Drink responsibly, B21.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free timeshare exit information kit. 800-761-0000. That's 800-761-0000.
Paid for by Wesley Financial Group.
The countdown to the NFL season is on while the pads are popping in camp. Get ready for the new season with iHeart, the official partner of the NFL Podcast Network.
Jim Harbaugh, how you feeling?
Oh, so excited. It's the start of the year.
Shows like NFL Daily with Greg Rosenthal.
We are going to go through the best position battles of the 2025 training camp.
Breakouts, holdouts, and fantasy sleepers. Be the first to know. Search NFL and find your next preset now. Make 97.3 The Game your number one preset on our free iHeartRadio app. Powered by Gruber Law.
One call, that's all.
Injured?
Remember, one call, that's all.
Time now for Billy's Parlay of the Day. Brought to you by Potawatomi Sportsbook. Bet above the rest.
Bet big, bet bold, bet above the rest, and make your bets tomorrow. And join myself, Billy Schmid, and the franchise Tim Allen at the Potawatomi Sportsbook before Brewers and Cubs. A same-day sports bet or a sportsbook dining purchase gets you a shuttle to and from American Family Field before Brewers and Cubs tomorrow. Game number 3. Might not even have to be the rubber match now. Now we don't want tomorrow to be the rubber match.
I was going to say, let's wrap it up tonight, get this thing done in terms of a series win, then go for the jugular with the sweep and get a 3-game lead. How
Father
about that?
Quinn Priester on the bump for the Crew here tonight as they take on former Brewer Colin Ray.
I've heard of him.
You may have heard of him.
Yeah.
And you also may have seen Colin Ray over the last couple of weeks. Now, in totality on the season, Colin Ray might have been one of the best, most productive Cubs starters. Throwing over 100 innings already. Just over a 4 ERA. The whip near 1.3 is not great. And last time out, gave up 3 homers.
No, that wasn't a good start for him. But
now I wish that was this time because we would have hammered a home run parlay like we should have last night of Sal Frelick and Christian Yelich.
Yeah, sure. And
Brewers money line, and we would have brought in a ton of cash. Well, I was not even going to get greedy and go.
Oh,
3.
I know. I was going to. Now, the thing is, you like to think that the Brewers might know something or two about Colin Ray, right?
Know a lot about Colin Ray.
Right? I mean,
know a lot about Colin Ray. Now, I know Jeff Orlowski is a big Colin Ray fan.
Big Colin Ray energy from Pipe. Well, yeah.
Okay. He has completely ditched the Colin Ray fandom.
I believe he called him yesterday a disgraced American hero. Colin
I like
Ray,
that.
something like that.
You know what? That's the perfect way for him to put it. To be honest with you, It's perfect.
Yeah.
I love that, man. Jeff Orlowski, we need to protect him at all costs.
Sure.
All right. So now yesterday, crazy how Sal Frelick just hits homers. It's just crazy how somebody so small with no power hits for all this power.
He's been
It's
absolutely
wild.
different this year. Absolutely.
I do love being able to throw him into a parlay of the day once again now that he has returned from injury. Give me a Sal Frelick hit here today. Oh, on top of Brewers over 4.5 runs, I think you're getting to Colin Ray here today. In his last starts, giving up the 6 runs, 5 of them earned on 3 bombs the last time out against the Royals. Now, previously, the Cubs had won his last 4 starts. Don't worry about that. We're starting a new streak. And he loses this time out. That's 2 in a row. And then all of a sudden, the Cubs are starting to question themselves. Do we need to add more starting pitching? We already want to add 1 starting pitcher.
Right.
Do we need to add 2 starting pitchers? Add more consternation and flux to that organization. Brewers on the money line are a favorite tonight, -125 at the Potawatomi Sportsbook. But +230 is not a parlay of the day that we're looking for.
No, Bill. You need some bigger numbers there.
You need bigger numbers. So that's why the Sal Frelick hit needs to go to Sal Frelick over 1.5 total bases.
Okay, I like that. We
In the
believe in
parlay of the
Salvatore. Yeah.
And also, because we had Jackson Churio in the parlay of the day yesterday, there was no chance his 20-game hitting streak was extended.
Unfortunately. And it looked like that last one was going to be. It was in the 8th inning there, I think.
PCA
Dave,
runs it down to exceptionally well.
He put a
Hate
charge
that
into
guy.
it. I started jumping around on Dave and Trevor. I thought that thing was either out or off the wall. I'm like, yes, we're only 18 games away from Paulie, but it didn't happen, unfortunately.
What were you doing to the guys?
I was just jumping over him and jumping around. I was excited. Come on. You know, I had strawberry ice cream from Cold Stone.
Yeah.
Give me a break.
May I make a
Jumping up and
suggestion?
down.
Dave,
an
can you
idea,
make a
Billy?
suggestion here and save us
Well,
from talking
Colin
about
Ray,
jumping on
as
guys?
we've been talking about here, he's known for being a 5 and dive kind of guy. He doesn't really go deep in the ball game. So the over-under is at 15.5 outs for Colin Ray. So if he gets 5, that's 15. I don't see him going into the 6.
Can you give me the 5 and dive might be my favorite statement in all
Make
of
a
this.
shirt. Make a shirt.
What a name.
I
What a
love that.
trademark on that.
I love that.
All right. Colin Ray
Let's
under
make up T-shirts. 5 and dive.
I love
5
that.
and dive.
5 and dive.
Great for baseball. Great for football, even, to be honest, right?
They get 5 yards and dive.
That's what I'm saying.
Let's take our 5 and go on to the next
5
play.
and dive.
And take our +410 parlay to the Potawatomi Sportsbook here today. Brewers money line, Sal Frelick over 1.5 total bases. Going 1.5 total bases for Sal Frelick. Might be a leadoff double that just finishes that deal right out of the gates. And Colin Ray under 15.5 outs. +410 at the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Bet big, bet bold, bet above the rest. And join us tomorrow. Sportsbook will open early at 10 tomorrow. Myself and Tim Allen will be there starting at 9 for No BS. We will be bringing you up till about 12:30 or so when we hand it off to the Mike Heller Show, and then jump on one of those shuttles to American Family Field. Once again, same-day sports bet or a sportsbook dining
deal.
purchase tomorrow.
Great deal.
Gets you a trip to and from American Family Field.
So you get the trip and you can win the money, and you basically get you can win the money. You get it
You
for
can
free.
win. You can win all the money there, and also tomorrow, our friend Luis is going to explain to us all the new deals that they got going on in ways that you can have your fantasy football draft
Love that.
with Potawatomi Sportsbook.
I love that, Billy.
Not a better way to have your fantasy football draft. Not a better way to be able to take in Packers practice than we get to right here up on the perch in the middle of the 2 beautiful practice fields at Ray Nitschke. Had one-on-one pass rush right in front of us. Now we get 11-on-11 team in front of us as well. And Wayne, a lot of reps for Jordan Morgan in that pass rush drill. And now he goes right into left guard reps next to Rasheed Walker without Aaron Banks. And Elton Jenkins not in the team. He's only doing individual right now. But a lot of reps for number 77.
Yeah,
in that
and they're getting a good look at him, both a tackle and a guard, but especially guard here today. We've seen him playing on the inside. Looking at the different receiver combinations, McCole Hardman over here on the left side of the formation. They got that slot to the right. Reed's in the slot where he usually is. And then there's running back. There's my guy.
Your guy, Emmanuel
Wilson.
And that was no 5 and dive. He's still running.
No.
Boys, yeah.
Well, we finished that bad boy in the end zone. The right way to go about it. We talked about McCole Hardman yesterday. He has made – there's always going to be the Ray Nitschke Field MVPs and all pros. It does feel like Hardman has made at least one play each day that you've noticed sticks out.
He and Brown have made plays. Yeah, number 17, wearing Devontae's old number. But at any rate, Sam Brown Jr., those are 2 guys who have really made plays every day we've been here.
Jordan Love taking the first-team offense here, and Romeo Doubs alongside Matthew Golden, the two wide receivers there. And we saw Romeo Doubs throwing some passes to a youngster in a Romeo Doubs jersey. That one goes to Matthew Golden. And again, the handshakes and claps come when Matthew Golden touches the football.
And I love the way he runs his routes, Billy. He's a better route runner than I thought he'd be.
Smooth, isn't it? Yeah.
He's very smooth. Armen, very good observation. Yeah, very smooth and appears to be where he needs to be. Because that ball's coming out before he makes his cut on that sideline pattern we just saw.
Great point. And it's one thing that when you watched him at Texas, you noted the contested catch rate that he had and how much they liked him. He had to have a lot of contested catches because it did feel like Quinn Ewers put the ball in the air for quite some time.
Yeah.
The balls took a long time to get to Matthew Golden in college. That's not going to be the problem here. So a little bit easier and maybe a few less of those contested catches.
That's not because of the hash marks. That's what I always used to tell myself.
No.
It's just a longer throw because the hash marks. They snapped it on the weeks on the.
It is a longer throw. My man Quinn Ewers, who I liked a lot more when he was coming out of high school than I did coming out of college.
He was the number one guy coming out of. He was the number one guy coming out of.
A lot less zing on the ball and zip on the ball than maybe you needed, and that you'll see in the NFL level.
And speaking of Texas, I'll be curious to see how Arch Manning does now with the full year coming up. It's going to be interesting.
Is there a more polarizing college football figure outside of Arch Manning or Deion Sanders?
Yeah.
Well,
Maybe Bill Belichick or Jordan Hudson?
Yeah, I mean, that's a great point because no matter what, you can't have that name and not have a certain amount of cachet and expectation, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Amen to it. Wayne, I wanted to talk about the teams around the division because we're watching this one so closely in the Green Bay Packers, especially Detroit. We've talked a lot about Elton Jenkins, and he's been a mainstay. Nicole Hardman with a catch there.
He's in there a lot.
Yeah, Willis went down, dropped down to sidearm on that throw.
Great arm.
Threaded the needle on
Very creative.
Yeah. Malik Willis, we've talked about him. Gosh, folks, he throws a nice catchable ball.
He really does.
I would want to be on the receiving end of one of his throws. It's just so catchable.
He was on a podcast earlier, or Josh Jacobs was on a podcast earlier this year, and talked about Malik Willis. And when he came in, the guy that he was talking to was a Titans former player. And Lawan said, I bet a lot of money on the Titans that day. I bet a lot of money on the Titans that day because I knew Malik Willis. And he's like, he just didn't have it. I just didn't see him processing it quick enough. Jacobs mentioned that Malik was so thankful that he had everything explained to him in a different way here. It does show. I mean, we've talked about it on the defensive side, but at the quarterback spot, even more than any, Wayne, you have to know the why you're trying to do something, why you're manipulating a defense to go here. And if that's not truly explained to you, I think that speaks a lot to what Matt LaFleur and this coaching staff has done.
The why is everything. I mean, that's the name of Mike Silver's book. It's on the Shanahan impact on the NFL. The why is everything. Yeah, guys, they need to know why we're doing this.
Yes.
Why is this going to be effective? To have confidence in doing it. So
it's understanding the forest, not just the trees, right? Yeah. It's like you can run this route and it might be open, but why are you running it? Why is this happening? Why is this scheme in place? Why should it work against this certain defense?
Packers working here with Taylor Elgersma, the CFL and Canadian College Heisman Trophy winner.
Hey, don't sleep on the football being played in Canada. I mean, come on. Now, this is no Reggie. Remember when we had Reggie Beggleton? I was calling him the Canadian.
Oh, that's fair. Yes.
I really wanted to make the team, but Warren Moon was a longtime CFL guy before he made his bones in the NFL.
So it always is fun to be able to see some of the smaller and the lower level groups getting in here. These guys are going to be big factors during preseason games.
Yeah,
so Wayne Larrabee going to have to do a lot of work here because you want to know 84s, 81s. There's a lot of different numbers.
That Cornelius Johnson out there far to the right side, he looks the part. Big guy, 6'4", he looks the part. And there's another kid, Shepard, made a catch down the sidelines here a minute ago. Will Shepard added to camp. But bigger than I thought. Yeah, he played 1 year at Colorado. But, yeah, these are guys you're going to see a lot this summer when the games get here.
Once the preseason games start working, you'll see the group that we just saw. And now we'll see the number ones come up here as well. And we did just make mention of Romeo Doubs in the moment that he had here. There's a lot that we've talked about with a lot of different wide receivers. Doubs later into the year, talk about coming back off the adversity. Now, some of it was, self-imposed, also the concussions that he had. You look at that Seattle game that you guys called, Wayne, he was maybe the best player on the field.
Yeah.
He has still had those moments, and there's definitely an uncanny connection between him and Jordan Love.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And, I know Wicks is not in action today. He's been held out. But That's the other guy I thought overcame adversity
Right.
and was a positive force down the stretch in that offense.
I'd like to see a little bit more power being run, Armen.
I know that's your thing. Run power off, and you have the hat.
That
on
was
today.
counter. Counter is pretty
Yeah.
close. I mean, counter is
Sure.
about as beautiful of a play when executed
It's-
to perfection as power is.
There's still power involved. It's just going the other direction. Is that the idea?
A little misdirection.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, as you know, Red Hot Tim Scott might say, a little backdoor plan, right? You,
There you
you
go.
think you're going to the left, boom, backdoor it off to the right.
Yeah, it is. It is nice to see. Now, I just keep watching. Also, Christian Watson down here, kind of working out with the what is that? A
That's the
tension
rehab
band?
group, yeah.
The tension band there, and looking back, you just know he wants to be on this part of the field right here. You know, there's no doubt
Can't
about
wait.
it.
There'll be a lot of time for that, and Christian Watson going to be hopefully back sooner rather than later for this Green Bay Packers team, but definitely going to be some time for him to get there. And
There he is
there's
again.
Matthew Golden again.
Yep.
Long route
Yeah.
fully across the field on play action.
It looked like he drew safety coverage. Evan
Yeah.
Williams, who's a good cover guy, not going to keep up with Golden on that crossing route.
Not with that kind of speed. The 4.29 speed is in full effect. And again, just quickly back accelerating and seemingly not breaking stride.
Yeah.
That is a dangerous thing to do when you have that kind of right now speed like Matthew Golden. And plenty of 2020 or 22 jerseys, I think they're going to be customizing over at the Packers Pro Shop. Now up on the offensive line, again, the only one that probably cares is me. Jacob Monk in at center. Wayne, I thought he was going to challenge for a spot coming in last year. Definitely was swimming a bit as a youngster, but shows some good versatility on all three of those interior spots. And if you're the backup center, you're going to be on the team.
Yeah.
Like that's one way that if you're trying to make sure that you make the 53, if you're the backup center, you're going to be on the team.
No doubt. No question about it. And, he's got a chance. He's a draft choice.
Yeah. Former fifth rounder from
Yeah.
Duke, I believe.
Out of Duke. Yeah. He's, fifth rounder. Yeah. Last year. He has a chance. I think it, probably be Jenkins and Jacob Monk. And then, the versatility of the line is Sean Ryan if he had to
Amen.
go
Yeah.
over play center, So that's kind of where their depth is at in the interior.
And it's been tough for Sean Ryan if he is competing for that right guard job. He's been forced to play a lot of different places other than right guard so far in camp and showcasing that versatility like Wayne just mentioned. Josh Jacobs showing some hands as well there on a quick
He's a
angle
good
route.
receiver.
Big time.
That's an underrated aspect of his game. McCole Hardman getting some time with the ones out here.
I think that's the
wide receiver.
I think that's the thing I keep seeing that maybe surprising the most. I think when they picked him up, I just assume returner. McColl's been in there a lot with the main group.
And Armen, it's because he's been so effective, and not just in this camp, but in the mini camp and in the OTAs in the spring.
Interesting, yeah.
Oh, and he's also one of the most veteran presences in that room.
Yes, he is.
that's a
Great point, Billy.
Weird thing to think of.
He has Super Bowl rings.
He has
you know?
rings, and he's seen the best to do it in the game right now, play it at the quarterback spot, and I assume that's a lot of conversation that Jordan Love and him end up having as he's chopping it up right now with Christian Watson as well as Romeo Doubs, Dontavian Wicks, all the wide receivers hanging out. Matthew Golden finding himself.
They finally got it.
Finding a pick for
I believe that's Omar Brown.
Is that
Yep.
Yeah.
Deep safety.
Keep
Wow.
going.
They tried that corner route again, Billy, and they've run it like 3 straight times. And
Yes.
finally,
They finally get to it there in the back end.
Brown gets to it in the back end. Yeah.
It takes it back for 6, even though Jordan Love thought that he was going to go and track him down.
No,
That's good hustle by number 10.
And it was good
Let's
hustle.
stay over here, though.
And he didn't want to stop. He wanted to take it all the way to the right center. He did.
Don't want to miss out and don't want to miss a thing, but we got to take one more break before we have our closing ceremonies here. Live from Ray Nitschke Field, Armen Sari, and the voice of the Green Bay Packers, Wayne Larrabee, is here. I'm Billy Schmidt. It's No BS statewide on the game.
The home for your Green Bay Packers.
Love throws right side back shoulder. Leaping grab Romeo Doubs. Touchdown Green Bay Packers. Oh my goodness.
97.3 The Game.
People can't stop screaming about Screamin' Sicilian frozen pizza. And no wonder. There's plenty to scream about, like the buttery stone-fired crust, secret recipe tomato sauce, mounds of whole milk mozzarella, and tons of premium toppings. Find Screamin' Sicilian in your local grocer's frozen aisle and find out for yourself why Sport called Screamin' Sicilian Holy Pepperoni Frozen Pizza the best of the best. Screamin' Sicilian. Taste what all this screaming is about.
Lowe's knows big savings make a big difference, especially when you're shopping for appliances. Hurry in to get up to 30% off select major appliances. Plus, My Lowe's Rewards members get free delivery, free haul away, free installation and parts on purchases of $2,500 or more. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid through 7/30. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. Price, delivery time, and vehicle availability may vary based on order size and location. Exclusions apply. See Lowes.com/delivery for more details.
Hey, it's Matt LePay, your friendly play-by-play voice. I know a good team when I see one, and I found a great one in Ridgetop Exteriors. Let's talk about your home for a minute. It's most likely your biggest investment and where you spend most of your time. So my question for you, is your home ready to shine this season? Whether it's roofing, siding, or windows, Ridgetop Exteriors is the name you can trust. For over 20 years, Ridgetop Exteriors has been Wisconsin's favorite for roofing, and they bring that same expertise to siding and windows. Imagine vibrant, low-maintenance siding and energy-efficient windows that brighten your home while cutting energy costs. Ridgetop Exteriors holds all expert-level installation credentials with leading manufacturers including Pella, James Hardie Fiber Cement Siding, and LP Smart Side Engineered Wood Siding. With thousands of five-star reviews and a commitment to excellence, they're the clear choice for your home improvement project. Call Ridgetop Exteriors today, online at ridgetopexteriors.com, and consultations are always free. Ridgetop Exteriors, putting customers first every time.
Your escape, your backyard retreat, your deck. Build it better with Trex from Blifford Lumber. The original composite decking. Trex is famously durable. Comes in a variety of colors and needs no staining, painting, or sealing. And with Blifford Lumber's decking experts, your Trex deck will be the life of your backyard. Build it better. Build it local with Trex decking from Blifford Lumber. For a Blifford Lumber nearest you in Milwaukee or in the surrounding areas, visit BliffordLumber.com.
Without an Advent clinic nearby, people suffering needlessly from chronic nasal congestion and sinus infections would be stuck with either Band-Aid or sledgehammer solutions. Band-Aids are pills or nasal sprays, and they're not true solutions. Surgery is a sledgehammer, and that's what we're trying to avoid. Because most people don't need surgery for nose and sinus issues, nor do they want a 14-day recovery. Our unique Advent approach can, in 20 minutes in our office, open your blocked nose for good, with only 1-day recovery. I'm Advent founder Dr. Kandula. Outside of Advent's four walls, invasive surgery is what they'll recommend. But here you will find effective and convenient in-office solutions to help you stop the need for Band-Aids and avoid the sledgehammer.
Go to adventknows.com to schedule your appointment, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better. Most insurance accepted.
Find what you love, love what you find. A Total Wine and More. There's so much waiting for you. Spirits and beer, thousands of wines. Guides in the know and prices so low, it just might blow your mind. You're gonna find what you love and love what you find.
With curbside pickup available, you'll always find what you love, only at Total Wine and More.
Drink responsibly, B21.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free timeshare exit information kit. 800-761-0000. That's 800-761-0000.
Paid for by Wesley Financial Group.
The Fox 6 weather experts are presented by AdventKnows.com.
A few showers, maybe an isolated thunderstorm or so to kick off our Tuesday, and another round possible later on this afternoon. High near 88 today, once again very humid. Overnight tonight, another round of rain and thunderstorms, and then the heat finally breaks by Wednesday afternoon. I'm Fox 6 Chief Meteorologist Rob Haswell.
This report is sponsored by First Choice Heating and Cooling.
This heat is unbearable.
Keep your family comfortable with First Choice Heating. For a limited time, get $89 off your AC and heating tune-up. Milwaukee's trusted HVAC company, firstchoiceheating.com.
The game is live from Packers training camp, presented by Potawatomi Sportsbook. Bet above the rest. Here's Bill Schmidt and the voice of the Packers, Wayne Larrivee.
Ain't no valley low, ain't no river wide enough.
Mics are on, and we are out of pocket. Well, one of us is. Armen Sarian is straight out of line. We're not even going to discuss it on the air. But, Laura, God bless you. You're a saint of a woman.
She does do, like, I would say.
She's an incredible woman.
You know, to have to put up with me. I mean, that's the main thing, you know.
Put up with this abuse that we're hearing.
I don't know about that.
Verbal harassment. What we are talking about here is Packers Practice 2025. Wayne Larrabee, voice of the Green Bay Packers, alongside. We do have some Bucs news here, Armen Sarian, to pass around, and you'll like this one.
Oh, gosh. I was in the bet. Yeah.
Kyle Kuzma is changing his number from number 18 to number 0.
Oh, as soon as it became available, he jumped on it.
As soon as it became available, the internet having some fun with that after his stat line full of zeros. That he just likes the number way too much.
Here we go.
That's tough. All right, Kuz, fresh start. Ditch that 18, get the 0 in, and produce.
Now, how many of the Damian Lillard jerseys are we going to see that are going to be transformed into Kuzma jerseys? I'm not anticipating it.
I'm hoping some.
Yeah, but you never know.
I'm hoping some. I will tell you this. There weren't a lot of 29 jerseys outside of Xavier McKinney, but Wayne, after he makes plays like that during the regular season, makes one right now with an interception. A lot more 29 jerseys this training camp.
Yeah, he just picked off J-Love in the middle deep secondary off a deflection.
He's a ball hawk. Now, that's one of those situations where as a fan, you know, it's tough to discern what's going on in practice because you're your own team playing against. So you don't want Love to make a pick, but if it's a great player like X, you're cool with it, right?
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. But you don't want to see Jordan throw interceptions.
You don't want to see some great picks from him.
Yeah.
No,
you just don't want to see that.
Right.
But again, as we talked about this, guys, quarterbacks at this time of year, veteran quarterbacks especially, they'll be making throws, trying throws here that they wouldn't try elsewhere in a regular season game.
And then on the other side, Sean Clifford picked off by Kalen King. So defense having
my guy.
There he is.
That you want to see. You want to see Kalen King make plays.
Well, last year there was a lot of surprise that he lasted all the way to the 7th round.
Exactly, because he had a bad year the year before at Penn State after an All-America year the year before.
Yeah.
I believe he came out after his junior year. His sophomore year was a great year. If he came out then, he probably would have been a first-round pick.
It seems like the Packers have had that ability, Wayne, through the years to find really quality, even closer to, you know, all-pro quality corners and secondary out of guys that are the late-round picks or even undrafted. You know, even going back to thinking about Sam Shields and guys like that, you know, and you think about what Carrington's
Tremont
done.
Williams, right?
Of course, Tremont, of course.
Yes.
And what they've gotten out of Carrington. So it's just it's something you believe that they can continue to do.
Hope that it is just a little retaping for our guy Devontae Wyatt, because Wayne Larrabee and I were talking during the team pass rush.
Sure
Back
like
up on
it.
his feet. He can be a very dominant force inside.
Yeah, I think he can. Yeah, he's one of those guys, along with Edgerrin Cooper, that I think can develop into blue chip players, blue chip performers this year, and those are performers that make a difference. They tilt the field.
And the Packers got a couple of those in free agency last year, unable to this year. So now you need a couple of those blue chippers to come from within.
Sure.
And a lot of your internal development is generally where the best teams are ultimately made. Well, we got a great team up here in Green Bay covering training camp practice. Our guy Zabe has taken away Armen's binoculars. He's utilizing the binoculars, I'll be honest, a little bit more than Armen was.
Well, there's less blockage.
Better than Armen is.
Listen,
Zabe, you haven't given any updates on what people are wearing shoe-wise, so I'm glad you're utilizing it in the right fashion.
These are the tidbits people want to know about, okay? When I say people, I say me.
You.
All right? So I am no, listen, he also has less blockage. I mean, we do have some, you know, the tent and things like that. Oh, see, there you go. All right.
Under Armour shoes as Zabe gets an update in, and we get one last pass from Jordan Love, who fits it right into a window that I don't even think Mecole Hardman thought he was going to be able to fit it into.
Exactly, yeah.
Holy cow, it drops right into the hands, but again, I don't know that Mecole Hardman was expecting it to be as clean and crisp as it was. Phenomenal day, one of the best ones so far, weather-wise, no doubt. Action was amazing, and the conversation was A1. Wayne, thanks for the time. As always, guys. Man. See you on Thursday.
Safe trip back.
Thank you.
Thanks, Wayne.
Remember, I'm holding that parlay. I'm holding that trifecta for you in the Whitney at Saratoga, just in case you need it on Friday.
We're doing the show from the Potawatomi Sportsbook tomorrow, Wayne, so I very much might need it coming up on Friday. Armen, great work. Enjoy Vegas. Yep. We'll talk next week. We'll be back coming up with Mike Heller after this. You got the game.
Miss a second of today's show?
Yes.
Well,